was thinking about it. All right. Looks like it's receiving.
And we're
All
live.
right, we're live.
What's up, YouTube?
What's up?
Fred Scott, it's Monday Night Football. Bam, 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 bam.
That's copyright music, Fred.
Oh, yeah. We get kicked off this early. Christ, we just got on the air. Monday Night Football, we got the Minnesota Vikings going into the Seattle Seahawks to take on the 7-5 Seahawks. This should be a good battle.
Man, that 12th man. It ain't no joke up there.
Always a factor up there.
But I'll tell you what, we just got out of, Arrowhead with the Ravens playing Kansas City, which is noted as being the loudest up until 2 or 3 years ago, the loudest stadium in the NFL. And I believe it was registered as the loudest, environment in all of sports, major league sports, high level sports. Excuse me, I'm fighting a sinus infection or something. But one thing for Ravens fans was they showed up well, and played well in that game, and that's going to be, to me, Minnesota fans. You hope they show up here a little bit and are able to deafen this 12th man crowd for them to be able to kind of silence this team for Seattle. They've been playing well despite some injuries. I know you're going to get into that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
7-5 right now, and Vikings are 6-5-1. Who do you got in this game?
Well, you got two of the better defenses in the NFL. I know the Vikings probably haven't lived up to the hype of the performance that they put up last year. I do think that they're more of an explosive offense than they were in years past, and Kirk Cousins is a big part of that. Seattle was off to a very, very slow start in the beginning of the year, especially offensively. They've turned it on as of late within these last few games. So we're starting to see Russell Wilson get more and more involved with, throwing the ball down the field. I mean, he's putting up good stats. You can't argue with numbers. So we're starting to see Seattle come together as a team, become more of a complete team. In this game, I've got the Seahawks winning this one.
You did. You predicted last week on our show that you were going to see the Seahawks win. You had it at 24-20. Close game. I had it as a close game, but I had it going the other way. I had Vikings in this game. I think you got to take the momentum. They kind of got off to an okay start, kind of struggled. Now they're picking it up again. 21-17 is what I had this score. So again, very close score. Both of us have this as a 4-point game. The over/under on this game, I want to say, was actually 3.5. Or I'm sorry, the over/under is 45. The Seahawks are favored by 3.5 in this one.
Right.
But so, I mean, we're right there with what the experts are saying this game is going to be. I just think it's going to come down to what role do these injuries play for both these teams.
Yeah, I mean, obviously both teams have been affected by injuries, some early retirements with Cam Chancellor, retiring due to an injury. I mean, he had the neck injury last year that ended his season, and I guess with fear of paralysis, that kind of thing, that he decided to hang it up. Probably the smart move.
Yeah.
He's done pretty well for himself financially. As long as he invests right, he should be okay. But no, I mean, like I said, you got Seattle playing at home in one of the most hostile environments. You got Russell Wilson playing lights out right now. He's 7-0 in his career versus NFC North opponents at home. He usually plays pretty well in primetime. Monday Night Football, he always never seems to shy away from the spotlight or anything. So should be an entertaining football game. Again, you got two of the better defenses in the league, two of the more explosive offenses in the league as well. So I think both of these teams could do some damage tonight for sure.
I agree 100%. We got some people already chiming in. We got Ethan chiming in saying he's a Seahawks fan.
What's going on, Ethan?
He says Seahawks are winning. Or maybe he's not a fan, but he's saying Seahawks, let's go. So I'm only assuming here, Ethan. We got Time at XD, who says they think Vikings are going to win this game. So we're already split with the fans. Our buddies over at Spotlight Sports Talk.
What's going on, guys?
Also chiming in. Time actually has a prediction here, 27-24. So he's got a 3-point game there.
All right.
So we appreciate you guys chiming in. Feel free throughout the stream. Feel free to chime in. Let's be upfront about this, Fred. We do not stream the actual game itself.
Yeah, right.
We are just doing the commentary.
You want to see us up here for the rest of the game? We can't show any of the video. As soon as we show the video, YouTube says bye-bye. So that's a little frowned upon, but hopefully we can add a little bit of a fun twist and a more entertaining perspective than what you'll catch with the Monday Night Football guys. We'll see.
Yeah, our buddies over at Spotlight Sports Talk says they have Seahawks winning this game.
Okay.
So everybody
I'm right there with you guys.
Kind of splitting this. I think it's going to be a close game. I think we all agree that.
Yeah.
It's going to be, it's going to be the tail in this game. In all reality, both defenses are playing well.
Right.
Vikings are ranked 3rd in the league,
yep.
and Seahawks are ranked 10th. But both offenses are ranked in the lower half in 26 for, I think it's 26 for the Seahawks, right?
Right.
And I think we said that the Vikings are 22nd. So, it's going to be the tell what offense has the upper hand tonight.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when you look at what Seattle's been doing as of late, their last 3 games, they've been averaging 33.3 points per game, which is 3rd in the NFL during that time. They're 1st in touchdowns. So again, they're putting up numbers as of late. They're getting on a roll, and honestly, at this point, when you're making a push for the playoffs, what a better time to get hot. We know that as being Ravens fans back in 2012. If you'd asked me going into that season if we had a shot at winning that Super Bowl, I would have said no. But our team got hot at the right time. Joe Flacco played the best of his career during that stretch run.
Yeah.
And, we got a Super Bowl out of it. So very well could be the same route that a team like Seattle could take.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that a lot of teams, you're never out of it because we can see games, and we're going to talk about some games later. We got some notes for some games later during some commercial breaks that we saw some huge swings.
Yeah, a lot of fun in the NFL. Lots of entertaining games this week.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't expect a lot of it. You guys probably already know half these games that I'm talking about. Yeah. But huge. Ethan chimes in and says Seahawks 100, Vikings 99. Spotlight.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's just obviously joking around.
Yeah.
Spotlight says that he can't wait to do some work with us.
Yeah, man. I was talking to him the other day. We were going to do some weekly picks, but unfortunately it didn't work out with scheduling and everything. But I look forward to working with you too, man. We'll get that together real soon.
Man.
For sure.
And then the other thing, we had Time. It said he'll be back watching around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I guess he had to step out. He's trying to find a stream he wants.
Well, hopefully we'll see you back here soon. But yeah, man, this again, you had kind of mentioned injuries. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Seahawks kind of going into this year. Obviously, the big injury and the big kind of turmoil in Seattle was the way that the Seattle organization kind of handled the whole Earl Thomas situation.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas very vocal about not being happy and kind of wanting out of Seattle. He's in a contract year, ends up fracturing his leg against the Cardinals in their game, and gave him the old one-finger salute to the team and to the organization.
He was saying how much he was number one.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
How much he was number one, right. So, yeah, I mean, Earl Thomas, look, it sucks because in a contract year, you're about to get paid. You're one of the, more productive safeties in the league, one of the best safeties in the league, depending on who you're talking to. You got a serious injury like that, a leg fracture, it's going to affect the amount of money that you're going to get. But we're getting ready for kickoff here as Seattle. Sebastian Janikowski lines up to kick it off to the Vikings.
The old crafty vet.
Yeah. He is old. He's got to be about 45 now. Christ.
All right. And Vikings are going to take it out to about the 23-yard line. And that was going to be, I believe that was, I gotta look at my depth chart here. I'm not even ready for my depth chart on this. Looks like it was Marcus Sherrills coming out here. So, career record for Kirk Cousins is like 32-23.
Did you just read that wrong? It was 32-35. Come on, Scott.
Oh, all right.
32-35. He played for the Redskins. You think he was 32-23 with the Redskins? No, sir.
All right. Cousins.
Take another shot.
Yeah, take Cousins. Cousins going to be under center. Two wide to the right, two wide to the left. Going to hand the ball off. And going to get stopped for about a 1-yard gain.
Dalvin Cook.
And that was Dalvin Cook on the carry.
Dalvin Cook, a guy that in his rookie year coming out of Florida State had a huge year. Obviously cut short by the injury that kept him out all of last year. Getting back into the mix. He got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but you're starting to see the kind of production that you saw prior to the injury for him.
Absolutely. All right, and now you're going to see Cousins line up. He's going to have a three wide receiver set, one tight end out to the right, two wide receivers to the right, one to the left, running back. Dalvin Cook in the backfield. He fakes the handoff to Dalvin Cook, rolls out to the right. He's going to throw it over the middle to Stephon Diggs. And Diggs is going to get down to about the 39-yard line. Big gain there.
Keep throwing to Diggs, baby. So
yeah.
From fantasy standpoint, you and I are in the playoffs with our Birdland BS team against Adam Bonacarsi from Russell Street Report.
Yeah.
We have a 6-point lead as of right now, but he has Adam Thielen. So we got to hope Adam Thielen trips over a rock or something happens where he doesn't get 6 points.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Why is it got to be the good guys I got to root against?
Not looking good for our
Cousins under center. Again, one wide receiver out to the right, one to the left, tight end set to the left. He's got a running back. In the backfield, it's going to be Cook again. He hands it off to Cook. Cook with a decent run, gain of about 5 on the play, and gets to about midfield. Running some time off the clock, but moving quick. 13:20 left on the clock. It's going to be second down to about 3, maybe 4 here, depending on where they put the spot on the ball. Brent chiming in. What's up, Brent? Good to see you back, man.
Yeah, appreciate you tuning back in, brother.
He said he needs Penny to score at least 13 points for him to win in
Hey,
fantasy.
I'm all for it. I'm all for that. If he's running the ball, that's less time the Vikings are on the field.
All right. He's going to put Thielen in motion.
Nope, that's Rudolph.
Rudolph in motion. Flips the handoff out to Cook. Cook's going to bounce out. Only gets a gain of about a yard there.
It's going to bring up third down at about 3.
Seahawks need to have a big stop
4.
here. They have a little momentum with Dalvin Cook running the ball, especially when he runs up the gut. Dalvin Cook is a strong second-round pick out of the 2017 draft out of Florida State, and he's very strong up the middle. Has the ability to bounce out if he needs to, but he's got a little bit of a power running game that can
definitely
run downhill.
But he's always a play away from a home run as well.
All right. Cousins going to drop back in the gun. He's got 2 wide out to the right, 1 to the left. He's going to have Cook into the backfield to his left. Trying to get the snap off.
It's going to be a flag.
Yep, there's the flag. And it's going to be delay of game.
It's going to set up third down and long, 3rd down and 9 here for the Vikings on their first drive.
Yeah. All right, so we got Lisa chiming in. It says, how about them Cowboys, our resident Cowboy
How about
fan.
them
Good
Cowboys?
to have you back, Lisa.
What's up, Lisa? Appreciate you tuning in again. Cowboys are looking good. Tell you, I underestimated that whole Amari Cooper signing. Man, what a difference that he's made. What a difference that he's made, not just for the team, but specifically for Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah.
I had about given up on Dak Prescott, but it goes to show you give him a weapon, and he can make it work. Doing really well there in Dallas.
So 3rd and 9. Cousins is going to be in the gun. Shifting a play call at the line. 2 left on the clock. Gets a snap off in time. Pressure, pressure, and almost intercepted across the middle, intended for Rudolph. Was that McDouglas on the coverage?
Wow, safety on that, on a safety blitz, just timed the play clock on it.
Perfect.
Hit it perfectly, and I mean was untouched, and hit Cousins as he was throwing, and the ball was almost picked off as Cousins wasn't able to get his body into the
Surprise
throw.
there's not a flag there. For roughing the passer as he drove him into the ground with his shoulder. I know it's hard. I don't like the call. I'm just saying, if you're going to call it, you got to call it every time.
Tyler Lockett back to receive the punt. He's going to field the ball at about, it's going to let it roll. He fields it about the 15, cuts up field, and he's brought down at about the 20-yard line. So that's where Russell Wilson and the highlighter green Seattle Seahawks are going to start. These jerseys, I've always been.
They are lime green.
Yeah, you. I'm pretty sure even colorblind people can see this color.
Ray Charles can see this color.
Yeah, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, all those guys, they can see that color. Seattle, again, playing really, really good football right now. Huge stop there on their Vikings' first drive. So Seattle's going to come out and try to take an early lead.
Big
here
stop
in the first quarter.
Big stop with quick pressure there. As we said, the safety on the safety blitz coming right in, untouched through the right side of the line. not a problem. All right, you want to do this so I can clear out my nose?
What, you want to do a shot?
Let's do it. We don't like to drink, but we're going to. So
I don't like to drink. Speak for yourself. Look at this guy. This one's for you guys and for his nose. Appreciate you tuning in as
just so
always.
you know, a little bit of moonshine.
It is moonshine, apple pie style.
Peach.
Right? Peach? I'm glad I said that because that would have surprised me. I'm like, what the hell? All right. Yeah, that's good.
Woo!
That'll definitely clear out the nostrils.
Give me a minute, it'll come out. That and these salt and pepper chips I'll probably get to later.
So, yeah, I think the biggest, getting back to the game, the biggest opportunity for the Vikings is going to be through the air. Obviously, they've got probably one of the best wide receiver duos in the league right now. Going up against a
Could
Seattle
you say
defense,
it's a duo? Wouldn't you say it's a triplet with Kyle Rudolph in there?
Yeah, I'm not trying to like shortchange Kyle Rudolph at all. He's a great tight end, but I think the duo of Thielen and Diggs, the numbers that they're putting up, I think I put it on your sheet just so you can see it, man. It's unreal.
Oh yeah.
But this defense, speaking of Seattle, they played great pass defense in the first half of the season, but they've struggled so far here in the second half. Mullins from the 49ers, I mean, he threw for over 400 yards against them. Cam Newton was 14 of 14 in the first half against them. So if you're going to attack this team right now, the best way is through the air. And what better than a pass-heavy team like the Vikings to be able to do that?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Rudolph, Diggs, and Thielen all averaging over 10 yards per catch or per reception.
Pretty impressive.
It's quite impressive in this day and age. As your boy Russell Wilson steps up to the plate.
Russell Wilson breaks the huddle. He comes out. He's going to start the drive under center. Hands the ball off. Looks like, is that Carson? I couldn't tell. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's Carson. Chris Carson on the gain. Gains about 2.5 yards on first down. It's going to bring up second down and 8. Chris Carson was a 7th-round pick in 2017 out of Oklahoma State. He's got 704 rushing yards on the year, having a good year. Seattle's kind of a running back by committee. They've got a good stable of running backs there. As Russell Wilson lines up here in the gun, he's got one wide receiver split out to his left. He's got Carson to his right. He hands off to Carson. Carson goes right side, gains about 7 yards on the play. It's going to bring up third down and a long one. Not quite 2, a long one.
Good read by Carson there, by the way. So went to go up the middle, had Barr coming, the linebacker coming up in through that hole, shot out of that hole, and was able to bounce out and get the game there. If he continues on the path he was going for, he's going to get hit by Barr and get hit quick.
One of the Seattle Seahawks, one of their biggest weapons in Doug Baldwin's been fighting injuries all year long. Does not look like he's going to play. As Wilson again hands the ball off to Carson, and Carson's hitting the backfield. He gets a little past the line of scrimmage there. Might have picked up about a half a yard, so it's going to bring up fourth down and about a half a yard to go. See if Pete Carroll rolls the dice here early.
Thanks, Connor. Apparently it didn't save our title.
I appreciate that, Connor. I don't know why it wouldn't have saved. But yeah, so Seattle's going to line up here and punt the ball. Smart move. Too early to make going for, fourth down conversion here. Backed up near your end zone. Punts it off and rolls back to about the 16-yard line, and that's where Seattle's going to down the ball. Good punt by Dixon there.
Nice. So, little shout out here. Apparently, Lisa, our resident Cowboys fan, says just found out that they're having their first baby, and we'll find out in another month or so. I guess the sex of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, congratulations there.
Congrats.
She said
Lisa.
her husband David has been watching with her every Monday night. So we all know his name is David. So
shout out to David and Lisa. Appreciate you guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah,
congratulations.
That's awesome.
So huge shout out. Just to put it out there, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got a little special something.
Yeah. We added a little, as you can see, the template's a little bit different. We're trying to add some things as we go along here, and we added a couple little features. So If you hit the smash button on the subscribe, you'll see what we're talking about. We also do, we're not asking for this. We just put it out there because we've had people ask us about it. In our description down below, we also have a donation tab that, you know, if you wanted to donate for the content, by all means you can. And there's a little surprise on the screen for that as well. Kind of cool. Just a way for us to say thank you to you guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week for sure.
Yeah, plenty of you guys are regulars out there. We really appreciate it. We're continuing to grow this thing, continue to get better. Like Fred said, you can see our templates change. If you go back and look at some of the other videos, we're changing it. And Fred, we got some special green screen.
Yeah, I got the green screen ordered on the way. I got a better lighting kit for us. So you're going to see this thing really grow if you stick with us over the remaining course of the year. And you'll see us again next year for sure. So just keep tuning in to us every week, and we'll make sure that as long as you guys are there supporting us, and as long as you guys are there watching us, we're going to make sure that we make this the best that we possibly can for you guys.
Yeah, and congratulations to Lisa. She says thank you very much. Thank you guys, not just Lisa, but everybody out there for watching every week. I know we got Connor chiming in, one of our regulars as well. He says Seahawks 27, Vikings 17. He's got this a little bit larger gap than what we did. So definitely going to be interesting to see. Ethan also says got a filling in the cavity, so his face is numb.
Yeah,
I got to
start drooling out of the side of your mouth there.
Just let it come down from filling that cavity. So what a big stop. We didn't talk about it too much, but big stop there for the Vikings.
Both defenses come out and show their toughness and stall drives there early and on first. Their first drive.
These are two top 10 ranked defenses. So Cousins is going to be in the gun. Trips out to the left, one out to the right. He's got Diggs to the right. He's got Cook in the backfield to his left. Drops back, looking, pressure, and it's going to be tipped, intended for Cook behind the line of scrimmage, about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. They're trying to do a little dump-off pass. Didn't have anything. He was looking for Diggs. It looked like across the center deep.
Yeah, I thought Cousins held on to that a little too long. Almost got sacked there. Luckily enough, he did get the ball off to save face and just go up for another down.
Yeah, pocket started to collapse around him. We've talked about it. This running back by committee for both teams. You also have Latavius Murray, who's been doing a lot of the carries as well, along with Cook for the Vikings. He's going to take the snap in the gun, hand it off to Cook, and Cook's going to run into his own man, and they get stopped about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage as he tried to bounce out. So already forcing 3 and out here for the Seahawks.
Big stop by Deion Jordan there as he got in the backfield, read that read right away. Soon as the ball was handed off, got into the backfield and made a big stop there for about 1.5 yard, 2 yard loss.
And they're showing this 12th man. It's coming into play already. You can definitely tell.
Yeah. 8:40 left to go in the first quarter. Tie game, 0-0.
In the gun. Looking for the snap. He's got 5, 4. Drops back. Looking right. Looks left. Dumps it off over to Cook. Cook stopped in the backfield. And for a loss of about 4. Wow. 4th down already.
Big loss
now
there.
we have a flag on the field. Late flag. At the 18, we're going to see what the call is. Yeah, we're going to see what the call is here. See where they go with this.
Bobby Wagner made the tackle on that play. Flag came in late. Refs are having a hard time figuring this one out.
Did you throw the flag? No, I threw the flag. Did you throw it? No, you threw it.
Where are you going to eat after this game?
No, that's what Pete Carroll's saying right now. What are you doing? Personal foul. Grabbing the helmet on the defense. Automatic first down.
Wow. Didn't hear who that was against. Was that against Wagner or what?
Let's see what the play call. Let's see if they give the call here. Show the replay of it. Pete Carroll not happy about it. It does look like they're going to call it on Wagner, and Wagner does grab the back of the helmet, but it slips off. I don't know if I call that. His hand does wrap around the back of the helmet. This kind of equates back to the change of the horse collar rule, that it's any portion of the back of the jersey.
Bad call. His hands were high. I will give him that. His hand did get onto his helmet, but there was no pulling of the helmet or tackling assisted by the helmet in any kind of way.
Not at all. All right, Cousins is going to be under center. One out to the left, one out to the right. Dalvin Cook in the backfield. He's going to set up. Hand the ball off to Cook. Cook's going to get up. Gets the first down and a gain of about 3, but we have another flag on the play. Or a gain of about 13. Jeez.
Man, that shot did you in. That was a gain of 13.
My nose, dude. I can't think.
We got another flag on the field.
Airing dirty laundry.
Right. Bright green, bright yellow. We got all kinds of colors everywhere.
I don't even know what they just called there.
I don't know. I think they picked up the flag. I think it was an inadvertent flag. There was no call. So we're going to have that 13-yard gain stand, and it's going to be first down and 10 here for Seattle, for the Vikings.
So this game is already setting up to be what we thought it would be. 2 top 10 defenses setting the tone. It really comes down to the offense, and at this point, what defense could make a mistake. As he lines up in the gun, Cousins is going to line up, get set with 3 wide outs to the left, 1 to the right. Dalvin Cook in the back, dumps it off to Cook. Cook again for a loss of 4. They are spying on Dalvin Cook all day. That was Richard. Was that Richard Sherman?
No. Sherman's in
Sherman's in San Francisco now. Jeez, it's the dreads. Threw me off.
Looked like Kendricks was in there on the tackle. It's Kenny Norton. Good old Kenny Norton, the defensive coordinator, reading this offensive game plan so far for the Vikings like a book.
Yeah, without a problem at all.
Second down and 14, 7:04 left to go in the first.
Cousins is going to line up under center, trips out to the left, puts Rudolph in slight motion, fakes the handoff to Murray, getting pressure, dumps it backwards to Murray again. Murray's going to bounce around a few defenders.
Another hands to the face on that. I don't think they threw a flag.
They didn't throw the flag there, but
that was definitely a face mask. May have been a makeup call for earlier for missing.
For making the call, yeah.
For making the call.
Cousins had the pressure early. Murray was there to block. Was that Wagner that he was blocking? Yeah. Missed the block on Wagner, got the pressure to him, and had to just immediately jump back out.
That could have very easily been a 5-yard loss on that play, but Murray makes a couple guys miss, gets across the line of scrimmage, and gains a couple yards out of it.
3rd and 12 now, in the gun. 2 wide out to the right, 1 tight end set to the right. Thielen out to the left. Murray in the backfield to his left. Drops back, looking deep. He's got... Oh, and it's just a little bit too long. Was that Robinson? That was Robinson. Looking deep. Just threw the ball about 3 yards too deep for Robinson there.
Only person that was going to make a play on that would have been the defender there. That ball was not a good thrown ball.
No, a little inside as well.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 4th down and 12 as the Vikings line up for the punt here. Matt Weil to punt. Tyler Lockett back to receive. Stands back at about the 15-yard line.
Long wait for the snap here.
Ball is snapped. Kick is up.
Drifting.
Tyler Lockett under it at about the 22. Makes the catch. Makes the first guy miss. Cuts up field. Gets out to about the 31-yard line before he's brought down. And there's a late flag on the play. There's a little bit of squirming going on after the play. Some pushing and some shoving. We'll see what the flag is here. Typically, when you see a flag on a punt like this, it's usually a block in the back.
Or a holding call.
Or a holding, right.
Illegal block in the back.
Block in the back against the return team. So it's going to be half a distance to the goal. Seattle's going to be pinned back in their own territory there.
So they should be on. He got it out to about the 30, so he should be pinned back to about the 15 here.
So we mentioned Bobby Wagner there for a second, as Bobby Wagner was in on a couple tackles there. At this point, in my opinion, I think Bobby Wagner, if he's not the best, he's definitely a top 3 linebacker in the league right now. The stuff that he's doing. I mean, last week he had the 98-yard pick 6 against the 49ers. He hasn't missed a single tackle in 98 attempts this year. Tonight, he goes against Dalvin Cook. Dalvin's forced a missed tackle on 27.7% of his touches. It's the highest among players with 100-plus touches. So this is going to be a battle of strengths here. You got a guy who doesn't miss tackles and a guy that likes to break tackles. And we're already seeing the two go at it here in the backfield early on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're seeing that on a regular play for them. What I mean by that is on a regular basis in the play. Cook's broken off about 3 good runs. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, they've been getting to him quick in the backfield without much problem and pretty much untouched each time they've been able to do it.
Right.
So it's definitely what we kind of expected, but we're not seeing Cook able to get and shift out as much. He's not able to run it up the gut, and he's having to bounce out, and they're ready for him outside.
So with these two teams, the NFC playoff picture right now, you got Seattle at 7-5 with the 5 seed of the wild card. The Vikings would be in as of right now at 6-5-1 as the 6th seed. You got the Panthers at 6-7, the Eagles and the Redskins both at 6-7 in the hunt. Both of these teams obviously in the thick of things for the playoff runs as far as the wild card goes. They're not going to be overtaking their divisions, as you've got two powerhouse teams in their divisions that are running away with it. But again, once you get to the postseason, all those regular season stats and records go out the window. You get hot at the right time, and as we know, like I said, you can win a Super Bowl.
All you got to do is get hot and somebody else slip up. We're seeing that with the Steelers right now.
Right.
So it
very
up
and down season for the Steelers, for sure.
And all it takes is one missed opportunity to really push you out of contention.
So here on 1st down and 10, Russell Wilson lines up under center. He's got 2 wide. He's got Carson in the backfield, single back, play action. Russell looking, scrolls. He's got pressure. He scrambles out to his left. He throws. He's got his tight end, Vanett. Vanett gains about 12 yards there and picks up a 1st down.
He had too much time, period.
Yeah. And Wilson, we saw this with Mahomes as Ravens fans. We went against Mahomes. The first time I got to see him and his mobility and the ability to extend plays. And that's exactly what Russell Wilson can do. He can take a play and make something out of nothing.
Late flag,
and it's a holding on the defense. That's right. Penalty's going to be declined as Seattle will take the 12-yard gain and a 1st down. 5:42 left to go in the first quarter. We're still at zeros here in this game. Russell Wilson lines up here on 1st down under center. Hands the ball off. Play action. He rolls to his right, throws out to his right, hits Lockett for a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards on that. It's going to bring up 2nd down and about 7.
And we got 32 of you guys watching. We appreciate that. We got 6 thumbs up as of right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Lets us know that you like what we're doing. You like our layout. And make sure that you hit that subscribe, hit your alert so you know when we go live.
Russell Wilson in the gun here. He's got Carson to his right. Hands it off to Carson. Carson goes left side off the tackle. Gains about 11 yards on that play, or actually about 9 yards on that play, but does get the 1st down.
He had an open field until Griffin came from behind him and was able to tackle him right after getting the 1st down there.
Big run, big block there by Brown, his left tackle. Held just long enough so that Carson could get around the edge there, get a 9-yard gain, and pick up a 1st down. Wilson lines up under center. He's got 3 wide receivers, single back formation. Lockett comes in motion, hands the ball off to Carson. Carson goes up the middle, makes a couple people miss, gains about 7 yards on that play. It's going to be 2nd down and 3.
Seahawks trying to get the running game going here.
Yeah, I mean, they typically, on average, go for about 48%, so as far as rush to pass. So it's a pretty good balance. And when you've got Carson, Davis, and Penny, again, it's like their 3-headed monster there, running back by committee. As we see Penny come out on the field now, they've got a good stable of backs. Wilson, play action to Penny, looks. He's got pressure up the middle, but he scrambles. He gets around it. He scrambles up the middle, gets out, gains about 10 yards on that, picks up the 1st down, gets into Vikings territory as he crosses midfield.
3:25 left in the first.
had about 2 seconds to make a read, couldn't find anybody, had pressure up the middle, which left the middle of the field wide open. He breaks a tackle and gains about 11 yards on that play. And
defensive lineman Joseph getting the pressure on him. One hand tried to get him, couldn't get him. He just jumped outside of him and was able to get upfield on him.
Big run there. Wilson lines up under center. He's got 3 split out to his left, trips left, hands the ball off to Penny. Penny goes right side, gains it, but it got a big hit there. Not sure who that was. I think that was Harris.
Yeah, shoulder first tackle by Harris.
Yeah, big hit on Rashad Penny, but he gains about 8 yards on that, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 2. Could have almost been a penalty flag on that as he came in with his shoulder and Penny came down, almost hit him with his, he did hit him, glance him with his, in his helmet area. The NFL is safe as they are.
Yeah.
Wilson in the gun here, hands it off, or no, play action, rolls out left, quarterback run out to the left. He gains the 1st down, gains about 6 yards on that before going out of bounds. Fooled me on that. I thought Penny had the ball for sure. And he fooled the entire defensive front.
Great show by Wilson to let the ball really get out there to show it off as Penny having the ball so that he could just tuck it and run.
Big 1st down run there. It's going to bring up 1st down and 10 from about the 33-yard line. Seahawks with 8 rushes so far and 51 rushing yards. Wilson hands the ball off to Penny. Penny goes right side. Gains about 5 yards on that play. Takes it down to about the 28-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd down and a long 5, maybe 6, depending upon where they spot this. We're down to 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. Again, Seattle and Minnesota tied 0-0. But Seattle is now driving. This really is the best drive so far for either team in the game.
Yeah, marching down the field, Seahawks are just chunking away.
Wilson under center, brings Lockett in motion, fakes the handoff to Lockett, fakes the handoff to Carson, but throws it out to Lockett for a gain of about 16 yards on that play. It's going to bring up 1st down with 54 seconds left to go here in the 1st quarter. Good play design there. Nobody picked up Lockett out wide. Wilson hits him in stride, lets him gain a little bit of yards after the catch. Brought up a good 1st down for a 16-yard gain. So it's going to be 1st down and 10 now from the 15-yard line, down to 30 seconds left to go here in the 1st. Wilson under center. He's got trips to his left. He brings Lockett in his motion back out to the right. Now he turns around, goes back to his left, hands it off to Lockett. Lockett to the left side of the line, but Harris read that perfectly. Lockett may have gained a yard on that play.
I say all that for a yard.
Yeah, it's a lot of running for Lockett to gain 1 yard.
I was talking about all that talking you're doing for a yard.
That's going to be the end of the 1st quarter, which was a fast 1st quarter. Again, 2nd down and 9. Seattle and the Vikings tied at 0.
Yeah, this is a close game.
Yeah.
Speaking of close games, it's a close game every year. But this year, the Dolphins upsetting the Patriots. Yeah. Did you watch that game, the end of that game?
I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I just watched the highlights and, was reading about it and everything. And actually, my buddy Ryan and I, we were talking about it prior to the game starting, and we had said that, this is just these two teams, for whatever reason, throw out the records. Doesn't matter Tom Brady's quarterbacking, doesn't matter who's quarterbacking, doesn't matter who's playing. These teams and these games always come down to the wire for whatever reason. As dominant as a team as the Patriots have been over the years, they always seem to struggle with Miami.
Yeah. Miami has something on Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, or they just read them like a damn book.
Yeah.
Every week, or not every week, but every time they face, it is always a close game. It is always a game that is highly contested, and it's always a game that the experts are like so baffled by the game was so close.
Yeah.
There's a history of it. You got to understand that. History is always bound to repeat itself. I don't care what if it's a new coach, I don't care if it's new players. Sometimes there's just something in a rivalry game that players rise to the occasion. And that's really what the Patriots-Dolphins games have become, because the Patriots fans are getting frustrated. These games are so close with these Dolphins teams that it created that rivalry.
Yeah.
That wasn't a rivalry previously, and now it has created this rivalry that every year always seems to be a highly contested match between the two teams. And this year, the Dolphins come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most traditional way to win a game there at the end of the game, on probably one of the craziest endings to a game that I've ever seen. What was the play in Nashville when they went to the playoffs? Frank Wycheck threw the ball across the field to Kevin Dyson, and he returned it for a touchdown. It's very not exactly the same type of play, but nonetheless, like the hook and ladder and being able to lateral the ball around a couple times before obviously it got into Kenyon Drake's hands there last, and he was able to beat Gronk to the corner of the end zone and win that game. Unbelievable. A lot of games in the NFL that last week that went a little differently than you would expect.
Yes, definitely.
To say the least. So Russell Wilson breaks the huddle here. He comes out. He's going to line under center. He's got 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. He's got single back formation. It looks like Carson is back there in the backfield. 2nd down and 9. Wilson drops back. He's looking right. Can't find anybody. He rolls out to his right. He's still looking. Throws the ball away. He was out of the pocket there, so that's not going to be intentional grounding, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 9.
Big 3rd down here coming for Minnesota, needing to put the stop inside the red zone.
Seahawks offense, 68% effective in the red zone, touchdown percentage-wise. They're
Vikings,
8th in the NFL.
I would say Vikings defense, 45%, 3rd in the NFL when it comes to the red zone.
So 2 of the best. We'll see who wins this knockout here as Wilson lines up in the gun. He's got trips out to his right. He's got a single back to his left. He's looking to his right. He's got pressure, and he is going to go down.
Big sack.
Big sack there. A loss of about 4 or 5 yards by Hunter.
Hunter has been unstoppable this year on the defense. He now has, that makes 13 sacks on the year for Hunter. And he's helped out by Everson Griffin, who's got 4 sacks already this year, so far this year. So huge, just pushing the linebacker back, or pushing the lineman back, getting into that backfield, and then taking down Wilson.
Sebastian Janikowski comes out for the field goal attempt. It's going to be about a 37-yarder, and it's good. So Seattle goes up at home early here in the 2nd quarter with 14:11 to go, 3-0.
By the way, Sebastian Janikowski is a 40-year-old dude. You can get out there with him, right?
Yeah, I got it.
He's a big dude. When you look at him, he is for a kicker. Kicker usually think of like the thinner, lankier guy, really flexible. We think we have Tucker, who like just can do yoga and out of nowhere sings opera. Janikowski's like I got this dude.
Janikowski's like, he looks like one of them guys that just want to go sit down on the couch and have a beer with.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He just looks like he'd just be an average, dude to live next door or something like that. But he's had a hell of an NFL career. I mean, this guy was one of the most touted kickers to ever come out of college football. Come out of Florida State. I remember I was just out of high school, I think, when he was just graduating college. So that goes to show how long he's been in the NFL.
Or how old you are.
Or how old I am. One or the other. He's had a hell of a career. Never thought that I'd see the day that he'd leave Oakland. I mean, he had been in Oakland his entire career. But here, nonetheless, Oakland gave up on the old man, and he's still doing his thing out in Seattle. So good on him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault the guy for making his money as long as he wants to, and he really doesn't have to worry about too much about injury. I mean, you have to worry a little bit about injury as a kicker, roughing the kicker and things like that, but huge there.
Speaking of drafts, so Seattle this year takes a chance on a guy like Shaquem Griffin from UCF. His brother Shaquille obviously was on Seattle. Shaquem is the guy that actually had his hand amputated. I think he was like 4 years old when he had his hand amputated.
Really young, yeah.
Very productive at UCF. Had a great career there. There's a lot of question marks in how that would translate to the NFL. Would he be able to wrap up some of these bigger, stronger, faster guys? He's still in the learning curve, just like any rookie would be. But man, the numbers that guy put up at the combine, as far as his ability to run in the 40-yard dash, like, it was unreal. You never expect. I mean, they said that he had quickness. There's a difference between quickness and 40-yard speed. Quickness is acceleration, it's reaction. There's a lot to that, and he has that. But his ability, at least in that 40-yard dash, I don't know if it was a gift from God to boost his stats or whatever, but he had never ran a 40-yard dash that quickly prior to his combine.
It just goes to show you can never underestimate the underdog. And that's, right. With somebody that does have, a physical handicap or physical disability, it just goes to show you anybody can do anything. If you put your mind to it, you put your drive, you can definitely leave off in a good spot. As we get the kick, it's fielded by Sherrill, who's going to take it out from about the 1 yard line, takes it out to about the 21 yard line, tries to cut it up the middle, and then gets stopped. So we talked about these defenses, and that's really what this is a game of. So Vikings defense is able to put the stop and only force 3 points.
Yeah.
You'd like to force no points there, but forces 3 points. What's got to happen here now is we have to see this Vikings offense step up and drive down the field.
Got to get your big play receivers in the game. Got to get them working for you.
Thielen has 1 reception tonight for 15 yards. You got to work him in more. I understand that you're going to have good coverage. So Cousins under center, 2 wide out to the left, 1 to the right. Fakes the handoff to Cook, who is in the backfield. Looking deep downfield. Gets Diggs for a gain of about 11.
There we go.
First down, and he runs out of bounds there. So 13:58.
Stephon Diggs out of the University of Maryland. We obviously know him well being here in Maryland. A guy that I was very high on in the draft, was hoping that the Ravens were going to pick because the kind of production that he had at the University of Maryland without really having any quarterbacks throwing his way, I mean, the numbers he put up were ridiculous. But he's shining here in Minnesota.
And Cousins is going to be under center again. Puts Thielen in motion from his left. 1 tight end sent to the left, 1 to the right. Hands the ball off to Cook out of the backfield. Cook tries to break a tackle, gets a gain of about 2. That was was that Flowers on that stop there?
Flowers, the rookie.
Shoestring tackle.
Big tackle there. Again, Dalvin Cook, one of the best backs at breaking tackles, especially the first defender. Flowers grabbed a chicken leg, held on to it, and brought him down.
He wasn't going to let go there. Flowers tried to, one more little bounce out to the right, and Flowers may have actually had him beat there.
Flowers, a 5th-round pick. He's played really, really well in his rookie
Flowers,
year.
This play set up on Diggs. Out to the left. They're going to put Diggs in motion to the right. 1 tight end sent to the left, 2 to the right. Looks like you're going to have Murray in the backfield. He's going to hand the ball off to Diggs through the backfield in motion and gets the ball out to about the 40-yard line for a gain of about 6, maybe 5 there, depending on where the spot is. So we're going to face 3rd down here, but it should be about a 3rd down and 2. Maybe 3rd down and 3.
12 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Do us a favor while you're here. Please hit that thumbs up. It helps and means a lot to us. Also, if you got any comments or any things that you want us to interact with, drop those in the comments field in the chat.
Glenn gave us thumbs up, said we are decent. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Glenn.
Under center, 2 wide out to the right, 2 left. Pressure, and he gets sacked in the backfield. Cousin is sacked for a loss of about 7, maybe 8.
Big play there by Clark.
Yeah, huge. That whole defensive front was able to just push this offensive line back and collapse this pocket quick.
And again, this goes back to what we were saying. These are 2 very good defensive teams. You've got the stadium effect with the 12th man there, not being able to hear things and the intensity of it, which affects players. I don't care what people say. That kind of intensity, from a crowd can really fuel a team.
Yeah, Matt Wild back for the punt here. He's back at his own about 17, 16-yard line.
Tyler Lockett back to receive. Ball goes out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. And that's where Russell Wilson's going to start. So this is what you need as a defense. When you've got your offense starting to click and starting to put things together and looking good, you need to go out there and get a stop quickly to get your offense back out on the field so they can continue the momentum going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you have to put a stop up here. We've talked about this as a game of defenses. These offensive, they're ranked. Vikings are ranked 22nd, and you have the Seahawks who are ranked, I think, 26th. So right now, they're outplaying. Their offense is outplaying them. But the way that they've been doing it is they've been doing it through their run game. And the run game, ironically, that is the one solid point for the Seahawks. They're ranked second in the run game.
Yeah.
But you have to have a passing game to offset that, which they really don't have.
That's what I was going to say. You really can't become one-dimensional against either one of these defenses, but specifically against the Vikings defense. And one of the biggest opportunities I think Seattle has is, they had Jimmy Graham as a tight end last year. They let him go in free agency. He obviously signed the deal with Green Bay. They draft Will Dissly as their tight end of the future. He gets hurt. And is now out for the year. So you're relying heavily on Nick Vannett and veteran Ed Dickson that they brought in as a second or third option, just as a backup. And, we saw Vannett get involved a little bit here. I think he had one or maybe two catches so far. But I think that they filled in pretty nicely during the stretch, not having your top option and Dissly out there. So we want to see Seattle continue to move the ball forward down the middle of the field where the Vikings have struggled, especially with linebackers and coverage. They've got one of the best safeties in the game, but they do struggle in the middle of the field with their linebackers and coverage.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. We had a few people chiming in on Facebook. SCG Sports says, need the Vikings to win next week. Defensive. He also says defensive struggle in this game. Time it says he's back early. What did he miss? So far, as you guys can see, Seahawks are up 3-0. This has been a big defensive game as the Seahawks drove downfield, but you had the Vikings defense able to step up in the red zone and hold them to only a field goal. So definitely an interesting defensive game thus far, as we were just talking about. You really have to see them drive up the middle for the Seahawks on this drive and continue to go downfield again.
Wilson lines up in the gun here. He's got 3 wide receivers in single back formation. He hands off to Carson. Carson looks for a hole, cuts it up the middle, and drags a couple guys with him for about a 4, maybe 5-yard gain there. Didn't really have much of a hole to run through there off to the right side of the line, but again, showing the strength of his legs, is able to carry a defender, really actually gained 6 yards on that. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4. We're down under 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Again, Seattle leading 3-0 over the Vikings. Wilson lines up under center. He hands the ball off again to Carson. Carson goes off the left side of the line, gains a 1st down, hurdles a defender before going out of bounds. May have gained about 8 or 9 yards on that play. Big run there to pick up a 1st down.
Huge run and a slight leap over the defender there at the end to try and get the extra yard or two. Doesn't exactly work out like you see it sometimes, but
Carson really off the left tackle there had a couple lanes he could have gone. Left side off the tackle, right side up the middle off the tackle. Could have gone either way. Chose to go left side. May have cut down a few extra yards he could have gotten if he'd gone the right side by going out of bounds, but nonetheless, big run. Wilson under center. Play action, dumps it off to the veteran tight end we were just talking about, Ed Dickson. Dickson gains about 4 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 6. Down to 10 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Seattle, man, I'm telling you, if they can get out and get down here and score a touchdown on this drive, it'd go up 10-0 here in the first half. That really puts Minnesota into a hole they don't want to be in. 2nd down and 6. Russell takes a snap, pitches it out to Penny. Penny goes left side, waits for a block. Now he cuts back. He's going backwards, but he goes off to the right side. He's got a block. He's got Russell Wilson out in front of him.
Wow.
Man, a big run there. A risky run, almost Barry Sanders-esque in the sense that he bounced back, went back about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage to go across the other side of the field. So from the left side all the way back to the right side of the field. And he had Russell Wilson out there leading the way. Wilson did not make a block, but nonetheless, the threat of having him out there, I think, slowed down the linebacker enough to gain an extra couple yards there.
Which way do I go? Which way do I go?
Yeah, right. Big run there by Rashard Penny, which gained probably about 15 yards, but he probably ran like 50 in total there to make that happen. Wilson, play clock goes down to zeros, and it looks like Pete Carroll might have gotten in the timeout prior to the delay of game call.
Just in time.
Just in time, as that's going to be Seattle's
as we
first
have somebody
timeout of the half.
Looks like we have somebody that has
oh yeah,
set off and triggered.
What's up, Beast Mode? Appreciate the donation, brother, man. That really means a lot.
It's awesome, man.
That's awesome, man. That really means a lot. Honestly, like we do this for the fun of it. The donations are just a bonus, man. It really means a lot. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Time. We're working with a new program here.
Oh, yeah, good point. Let me get that updated there for you.
SCG says you're an awesome play-by-play.
Oh, appreciate it, brother. Hey, SCG, you're another guy that I know we've talked about it a couple times, and we're going to do some work together. I'll reach out. I just haven't had time. I've had a lot of things going on lately, but we're definitely going to do some work together. I like what you're doing with your channel. Engraven, I've seen the work that you did with him. Scott and I have worked with Engraven a few times. Good dude. So if you are in the chat room and you haven't subscribed to his channel, go subscribe to SZG Sports. And also at Engraven Vids, both of which are big Ravens fans, but NFL junkies at heart. Good guys and produce good content. So if you're liking what you see, you'll like them too.
We also had somebody chime in and said, Mack says he needs Diggs to get 10 points for fantasy playoffs. Let's go, Diggs.
Like I said, feed Diggs all day. We can't have Thielen having a big game. So far, so good with Thielen, but I don't want to say too much.
You better not jinx anything, Fred. You have a problem with jinxings. I'm just saying.
You know what's funny, though, is like I found out today that, because I was all paranoid, it's a PPR league. We're up by 6 points, and we have nobody going. He has Adam Thielen left. I thought it would be an automatic loss. But come to find out, the way that the playoffs is set up in this league that we're in, it's actually a 2-week playoff. So what are we in, 14? So week 14 and 15 combine are one game. Week 16 and 17 are the next game because it's a 4-team playoff. I've never been in a playoff scenario like that where it's 2 weeks total scores combined to decide the winner that moves on to the next round. Kind of different.
It is definitely different.
Kind of cool, though.
All right.
So just a quick stat real quick. So these two teams, I saw this earlier, have allowed the fewest amount of points per game in prime time games since 2014. So just goes to show not only are these two teams historically good defensive teams, but they perform well when the lights come on.
They do. Absolutely.
First down and 10. Russell Wilson in the gun. He's got Rashard Penny out to his left. He's got 3 wide receivers. He looks deep. He's throwing. He underthrows the ball. And I'm not sure who that was in coverage, but you got to make a better play than that. That was basically a jump ball there that should have been an easy interception as Russell Wilson severely underthrew Moore, who Moore had about 2 steps on the defender. I think it was Harris.
Yeah, it was Harris.
No, it was Hill. I'm sorry. It was Hill. Completely underthrew him by a couple yards on that. But Hill, as a defender, you got to make a better play on the ball. Wilson in the gun here on 2nd down and 10. He brings Penny back in the backfield. He hands off to Penny. Penny goes left side of the line, up the middle. Gains about 5 yards there on 2nd down. Is going to bring up 3rd down and 5 from the 35-yard line. Yeah, here we go. They're showing the play that Penny just ran. He ran about 50-some yards. Well, here we go. Total play, he ran 83 total yards on that play to gain, what was it, 16 yards? Very, very,
one
Barry
side
Sanders
of the field to the other.
Wilson in the gun, drops back. He looks deep again. He's going right side of the end zone, but this time overthrows Tyler Lockett and everybody out there by about 4 or 5 yards. Hands are up in the air looking for flags. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on after the play. There is a flag on the field, and this looks like it's in the backfield. I don't know if that could have been a late hit on the quarterback. I don't know if it's a hold on the offense.
Hunter, Johnson, and Richardson, the defensive front, were getting chippy there with the offensive line. See what the call is.
So it's a personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defense. Big play there for their, well, not play, but big upside there for the Seahawks, as the Seahawks are going to get 15 yards and an automatic first down.
Wow. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, the call is actually on 55 on the offense.
Oh, well, they were pointing at.
He's pointing at. He pointed. That's what they're yelling at. It was on Jermaine Ifedi.
Yeah. So again, the ref made the wrong call there, but it was actually against the defense. So this is going to push Seattle now.
Against the offense.
I mean, yeah, against the offense. So Seattle is now out of field goal range. Going to put the ball at about midfield. It's going to bring up 4th down and 20, maybe.
Yeah, see,
so this was after the play.
So, okay, so we see Simmons and Richardson getting into it, and the flag is thrown on Ifedi. Ifedi just gets in there to actually push the guys apart. So Ifedi wasn't even involved when that flag was thrown.
Wow, yeah, that was a ticky-tacky call there. That's going to cost Seattle points as that 15-yarder puts them out of field goal range.
Yeah, Dixon's going to be back for the punt. He's going to get the punt off pretty clean. And Sherrill's going to be back for the return, and he's going to catch it at about the 10-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 10.
Seattle fans, they always do it upright with the face makeup there. Guy in a green and blue Santa hat. He's face painted like the Grinch.
Time it says question for us. Our thoughts on Super Bowl picks.
Super Bowl picks. So we've been asked this question a couple weeks in a row, and I don't think my picks have changed. After watching what Kansas City can do on offense up close. Now, albeit the Ravens were in that game not in control of the game, but in control of the win. If they stop 2 4th down conversions there, the Ravens do win that game. I still think the Chiefs are the most dynamic offense, and when they have home field advantage through the entire playoffs, we talked about it earlier, Kansas City's home field environment, one of the loudest in the league, really one of the loudest in professional sports, right up there with Seattle. Kansas City is going to be hard to beat in the AFC. We all know that the Patriots will always be there in the end. The Patriots are what they are as a franchise, and I think as long as Tom Brady's still slinging the ball around, they've always got a chance. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs out of the AFC. What are you looking like in the NFC?
In the NFC, if I'm going to go with the team in the NFC, I think for me, it's got to be the New Orleans Saints. It hasn't changed. Look, Hill for the Saints.
Yeah.
He's your backup QB. He's your punt returner. He's your kick returner. And guess what he does this week? He blocks a punt.
Yeah, he is like their Swiss Army knife. If you've ever had a Swiss Army knife on a football team, it would be this guy Hill. I mean,
my God, it's ridiculous.
Every week it seems like New Orleans finds another way to incorporate him into their game plan and use him in a different role.
And he just steps up to the occasion too.
Yeah,
I think it's because I think a lot of teams, he's got we talked about this in some of our episodes, especially when they played us. He has the build of a tight end.
Yeah.
He has a Kyle Rudolph type build. And it's just it's not what you expect of a quarterback, but he can throw the ball. He can run the ball, and he's got the speed. He's got the quickness to get out to the
strength.
Edge, and he's got the strength. We watched him stiff arm a few guys against us. So it's just one of those. It's one of those things that he is a true Swiss Army knife. He's going to continue to be, and you know what? Credit straight goes to the Saints for picking him up.
Yeah. And building a game plan which uses him to his strengths, and obviously this guy is just an all-around athlete, can do a little bit of everything. So, I think Scott and I are on the same page here. I think we've got the Chiefs and the Saints. in what should be a very entertaining Super Bowl if that's the case. Why don't you guys chime in the chat field? Let us know what you guys are picking for the Super Bowl.
All right, Cousins is going to be under center. 2 wide out to the left, 1 out to the right. Cooks in the backfield. Hands the ball off to Cooks. Cooks going to get out to the right. Going to get the first down and a little bit more before stepping out of bounds. Maybe a gain of about 2 more beyond the first down marker. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 from, I want to say that's going to put them at about their own 23-yard line. Let's see where they spot this.
Time Seattle leading 3-0, 7:39 to go here in the first half.
Time it brings up a good point. We'll get on that. Bears defense was on point yesterday. All right, 2 wide out to the left, 1 out to the right, 1 tight end set to the right. Cooks in the backfield, hands the ball off to Cooks. Cooks bounces out to the left again, gets past the line of scrimmage and a gain of about 3 before running out of bounds. So we're going to see 2nd and about 7.
So to your point about the Bears defense, they're dominant. They're a great defensive team. I think the biggest question mark around Chicago is Mitch Trubisky. I mean, he's had flashes where he's looked great, and then he's had a game like the other night, last night, where, yes, they beat the Rams mainly because of their defense, but Trubisky looked like garbage.
Yeah. Brent says Hill out of his home state, BYU.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he went to BYU. Okay.
All right, Cousins going to be in the gun. Cooks out to his left. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 tight end set to the left. Looks back, drops it off to Rudolph. Rudolph gets a gain out to about the 31-yard line. So we're going to see a 3rd and 2 situation here for the Vikings.
This is a big conversion for the Vikings. The Vikings need to get some kind of continuity going on offense to get some confidence going and feeling better about themselves. Seattle doing a really, really good job of shutting them down as the Vikings are 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions so far this game.
Yeah, they really need to step up here. Look, you just did 2 runs. They got you a decent gain. Then tried to dump it off. I hand the ball off to Cooks. 2 wide out to the right. 1 out to the left. 1 tight end set. Rudolph to the left. He's going to drop back. He has to scramble. He scrambles back. Running forward from just out of bounds. He throws the ball. He threw that ball as he was running out of bounds there.
Depending on what the refs say here, because he was really close to stepping out of bounds there before getting rid of the ball, but I think they're going to give it to him as Cousins does get the ball away, so he saves face and doesn't lose any yardage there, but it's going to bring up 4th down nonetheless.
So, again, to your point, they needed that 3rd down, and they don't get it. They aren't able to connect.
Seattle now with a chance to take over here, get some more points before the half. We got 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Again, Seattle leading 3-0. Tyler Lockett back to receive the punt as Matt Weil comes on the field. Watch a fake here. Watch a fake. You never know.
Especially on 4th and 2.
No, they're going to punt it. Punt is off. Lockett at about the 27-yard line. Fields it, makes one guy miss, cuts upfield. He's got a hole. He gets out to about the 40-yard line before that hole quickly closed. And with 5 minutes and 49 seconds left to go, Russell Wilson's going to come out on the field with decent field position.
Yeah, we had SCG chiming in. Says all the high power offense when they have faced a good D, they have struggled. I think the good Ds with adequate offense might surprise in the playoffs. It's absolutely true.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
As they're going through the offensive coordinators, you have Turner, then Shermer, then now DeFlippio in the Vikings going through and not able to have any consistency out there at offensive coordinator.
Wilson under center here. Hands the ball off to Carson. Carson goes up the middle. Doesn't have a whole lot of room there, but he does somehow manage to still gain 4 yards there. As Carson kind of has, and I don't watch him every week, so I don't see what he does every week, but he almost has that Le'Veon Bell effect in the way that he runs, in the sense that he's a very patient runner.
Yes.
He waits for his holes to open and then he attacks. And he might not attack the hole at full speed, but he'll get behind one of his blockers and make sure that he's moving forward. And if that means he's only going to gain 3 or 4, he's gaining positive yards. So
correct.
So good style of running, in my opinion. Wilson in the gun here, pitches it out to Penny off to the left side. Penny makes one guy miss. gets enough there for the first down, depending upon where they spot the ball.
It looks like this might be spotted short. Let's see what they do here.
Yeah, it depends on.
I think he had the first down.
It looked to me like he had the first down there, but depends on when his knee goes down. And yeah, he may have been just a tad bit short, but they do give him the first down. Pretty good spot there. We're down to 4 minutes and 30 seconds here to go in the first half. Wilson in the gun. He brings Tyler Lockett in motion from the left side to the right side of the line, back to the left side. They hand it off to Carson. Carson goes left side of the line, gains about 3 yards before he's brought down there. The clock continues to move. Seattle with 2 timeouts. Minnesota with all of their timeouts. Down to about 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Seahawks.
When they have 6+ offensive linemen, they've got 20% of their snaps. It's the most in the NFL. Fake the handoff to Carson. Play action, looking deep. Can't find anybody. He's got all day. Dumps it off to one of his wide receivers in the backfield there, who's lucky enough to get back to the line of scrimmage there. Doesn't lose any yardage. Wilson looking deep on that play. Scanned the field from left to right, back to the left. I mean, he had all the time in the world. Had nobody open as Harrison had good coverage on Lockett there deep down the field, which I think was his first read. Couldn't find anybody, but Wilson dumps it off to
Jaron Brown there.
Yeah, Brown for, again, no gain. 3rd down and 6. Wilson in the gun. He's got trips out to his left in a single back formation. Scrambles out to his left, scrambles out to his right, dumps it off there to Davis. Davis gains about 5 yards on the play, but he looks like he's going to be about a yard short. So it'll be interesting to see what Pete Carroll here does on 4th down and 1 when you're in enemy territory. You're just out of field goal range, even though you've got, a good, decent long-range field goal kicker in Sebastian Janikowski. I don't trust it here. From
looks like they're going to go for
the 40-yard line. So, yeah, they're going to go for it here on 4th down and 1.
Some light rain falling in Seattle.
Wilson's going to line up in the gun. He's got trips to his left. He's got Davis off to his right in the backfield. The whistle is blown as the ball is snapped.
Timeout Seattle, I believe.
Yeah, timeout Seattle. Seattle uses their 2nd timeout of the half. 2:25 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
As they face 4th and 1.
Seattle leading 3-0.
I tell you what, the Vikings need a big stop here.
Yeah.
They've got to show the front what they did what they did in the red zone and putting up the defensive stop to force them to 3 points. You really need to go into this half with at least a tie game. So you really have to, as a defense, you need to put the stop on here if they do in fact go for it. And then you need to turn around, and the offense needs to get up the field and at least get in field goal range so that you can see this game tied up with Dan Bailey, the former Cowboys kicker, who they picked up. I'm sure Lisa's probably loving that because they didn't like him down in Dallas after a miss or two.
So Seattle, 9 for 12 on 4th down conversions this year. So a pretty good success rate there as they are going to line up here. They're going to line up in the jumbo formation and an I formation. They've got Carson deep, and they hand it off to Carson. Carson goes right side. Man, I don't know. That's close. It looked to me like he may have got it, and it looks like the side judge is coming in, is agreeing with me. It looks like he's going to get it by
a flag
about...
on the defense, though.
Did not see the flag, but it looks like it's going to be on the defense.
Hands to the face. On the defense.
Well, regardless of the spot, that's going to be an automatic first down. 2:21 to go here in the first half. Pete Carroll chomping away at his gum. That guy, I don't think I've ever seen him without a piece of gum in his mouth.
How many pieces of gum is it the same piece of gum?
I don't know.
Or does he go through like 12 pieces a game or something?
He must have like 4 packs in his pockets at all times.
Is he a former smoker? Is he popping Nicorettes?
Could very well be. Pull up his sleeve and he's got 10 patches on his arm.
Right. Wilson.
Clock is ticking down here. It looks like the Seattle's just going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning.
Well, close situation there. They went in to start to get ready to start the huddle. He he broke the huddle because they actually had 12 men in the huddle. So
smart play not to take the penalty.
Heads up there.
Yeah.
Especially, considering you just got a penalty to move you forward, you don't want to take a penalty and go backwards in that situation.
Right. At this point, you're in decent field goal range. You don't want to do anything that's going to push you back. And like I said, at this point, you got a 3-point lead. You need to get as many points on the board as you possibly can. And if you're the Vikings defense, you want to stop them because you're not doing a whole lot on offense right now.
No, not at all. And Fred, it is time for roll call.
Roll call.
Guys, chime in. Let us know where you're chiming in from, where you're watching at. Let us know how you heard about us, what you like. If you like what we're doing, make sure you hit that thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button. There'll be a little alert that comes up. You'll get to see it. Everybody in here will actually get to see that little alert.
We got halftime coming up here soon, so we're going to have about 15, maybe 20 minutes of time to talk. So
get your questions in.
Any questions that you have, or any topics that you want to hear us discuss about the game, about going on in the NFL, get your questions in, and we'll try to get to all of them if we can.
And you guys could have seen it earlier. I think it was it Beast Mode?
Yeah,
that
Beast
made a
Mode.
Donation earlier.
Appreciate it again, brother.
We've had several people ask about that. Message us privately. There is a link down there. It's through Streamlabs, so you can click that link, and it's set up through PayPal. So you got a PayPal, you can do that. We don't necessarily. I don't want to say we don't want your money, because anything that you guys do give us is going towards things like the green screen, the lighting,
a little bit better,
and making this better. We're not really in this for money. We're in this for having fun. But anything to help the cost of actually us running this, we appreciate.
Definitely do. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. You hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. We got a little alert, like you said, set for the subscribe button as well. We're trying to grow. We're trying to make this thing the best that we possibly can. We realize we're a couple of amateurs at this, and I think we've done about 6 of these now. I think we get better every week,
man. It feels like
each time.
We got several people more and more that are coming in on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you regular listeners, you new listeners out there. We got 56 people out there watching. We have 11 thumbs up. Keep giving us those. We appreciate it.
Definitely do.
Make sure you reach out. John Savage said stop saying and please. We are a bunch of amateurs. We are working on that.
We'll work on it.
And we said, it says they're chiming in from Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, nice. Appreciate that.
And I apologize for my nose. I'm fighting off some sinus issues.
I've only been to Florida a couple times, and I was going to Miami one time on a road trip, driving from Maryland down there. And I got to Jacksonville, and I thought I was almost there. No, I wasn't. Russell Wilson here on 1st down and 10 in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers, single back formation. Looking left side, looking right side, throwing deep to the right. He's got a receiver, he's got a man, but the ball is juggled, so the ref is ruling this incomplete as he didn't control the ball before he had both feet in bounds. We'll have to watch this on replay to slow this down. Moore makes the catch, brings the ball in.
2. Oh, the second foot
steps out of bounds. Good call there by the ref. Good catch by Moore. But just in a bad spot, couldn't keep that left foot in bounds there. As that would have been a big play for Seattle, big touchdown.
SCG says he's from Puerto Rico, but he's watching out of Glen Burnie. Local, a little bit more local.
Just around 695 there. Wilson in the gun. Looking to his right, he throws out to his right to Lockett. Lockett gains about 8 yards there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 2 with about 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. Lockett's pushed out of bounds, so that stops the clock. Again, Seattle still has 1 timeout left. Minnesota with 3 timeouts.
And John chimes back in, says, the person who said about the and the ums, he says he likes it, but just work on those things. So we appreciate that,
Yeah,
John.
we appreciate
the
it, man.
feedback.
Definitely. Wilson in the gun. He's got trips to his left, but he brings Tyler Lockett in motion. Lockett goes back out to the left side. Hands it off to Davis. Davis looking for a hole. Bounces out to the right side. He's got a good hole off to the right side. He goes out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. It looked like the run play was designed to go to the left. Davis saw no hole. Bounced the ball out to the right side. Wilson again kind of leading the way. Not really blocking, but again, just getting away in the way of the defender enough to cause a little bit of separation and allow Davis to get a couple extra yards. That's what makes Russell Wilson great, man. Things like that. Little things like that separate quarterbacks from each other. Wilson lined up under center, hands it off to Davis. Davis goes left side, gains about 3 yards, maybe 4. It's going to get out to about the 11-yard line there. It's going to bring up second down. Looks like we got a injured Viking on the play. He's limping off the field. Is that Griffin?
Looked like it was.
Would be a big loss. Second down and 6 here. Wilson under center. He's got trips out to his right. Davis in the backfield lined up as a single back. He's got 3 wide receivers and Dixon, the tight end, lined up to the left side. Making some changes at the line of scrimmage. Wilson takes the snaps, hands it off to Davis. Davis goes up the middle, gains about 5.5 yards on that play. It's going to bring up third down at about a yard, maybe a half a yard.
Big power run there from Davis to just drive.
Clock continues to tick. We're down to 46 seconds left to go in the first half. No rush here by Seattle as they're just trying to allow the clock to run down here. They still do have 1 timeout left.
Seattle controlling it with almost 17 minutes in time of possession so far in the first half.
Wilson lined up in the gun, trips to the right. He brings Dixon back towards the line. He's got Davis to his left, hands the ball off. No, it's play action. Wilson off to the left side of the run. He gets the first down, gains about 3 yards on the play, and he gets down to about the 2-yard line where Seattle calls timeout with 16 seconds left to go. It's going to bring up first and goal from the 2-yard line for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
And they were bringing 7 on that rush. So to get out and around him, perfect move by Russell Wilson to keep that, but just can't get into the end zone, as I believe that was Harris there.
I tell you, now that we get to see the RPO run a lot with Lamar Jackson at the quarterback, I have a better appreciation for Russell Wilson and his ability to disguise the ball. And really, as a defender, it's got to be hard to tell whether the running back has kept it or whether Wilson's kept it, because he has a really good ability to keep that ball tucked into the running back's stomach for a while before pulling it back out and running it himself. Wilson in the gun here. He's got trips to his right, Davis to his right as well. He rolls to his right, looking, nothing. He goes back to the left. There's nobody there. He's going to get, wow, he gets pressure.
And intercepted.
Oh, wow. Wilson gets under pressure. He goes back about 10 yards, and instead of just taking the sack, tries to throw the ball away, but can't get anything on it because he throws across his body, and the linebacker is just standing there waiting for the ball to come down, picks the ball off, and he's tackled. What a turn of events there.
Kendricks on the interception there.
Yeah, it's Kendricks. Kendricks, if he picks that off and stays on his feet, that could be pick six because he had nobody around him.
Open field. Dumb move there, in my opinion, by Wilson. You know, it's going to be, if he actually does get that ball out of bounds, good chance it's going to be potential intentional grounding in that situation.
Right. With 6 seconds left to go here in the first half, I imagine Minnesota's going to come out and just take a knee. That's a big, big win for the Vikings to get the interception there and hold Seattle to only 3 points here in the first half, as we're going to go to halftime with Seattle leading 3-0.
3-0, tight game as we move into the half. Mr. Pajamas says, good work going on. Good, guys, keep it up. Actually doing better than the pros. Nice work.
I appreciate that. Definitely do, man.
Big ups. Nick chimes in, says, glad to see a few local Maryland boys doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
Been watching since the Bills game, making great work on Monday nights. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
We also have some questions kind of coming in. I did see RB chimed in and said, why didn't Vikes just keep last year's team?
Why didn't the Vikes keep last year's team? I mean, there's a lot of different reasons for that, obviously. You know, there's salary cap ramifications. Unfortunately, the NFL is not like the MLB where players can just go to the highest bidder. I mean, as a franchise, you got to be smart about the contracts that you offer, about where the balance of money comes from, and sometimes you got to make tough decisions. I mean, we, as again Ravens fans, we're dealing with some bad contracts right now. We're dealing with the Flacco contract, which Flacco is now sitting on the bench making about $25-26 million a year. So you don't want to overpay. You can't pay guys based on heart. There's a lot of reasons for it. Look, Seattle though, Seattle can be a dangerous team, even with the roster that they have right now.
If you paid guys based on heart, you'd have some of these offensive and defensive linemen making more and more money than anybody else on the field. Because I tell you what, these guys are out there grinding, and
I meant heart in the sense that if you have an infatuation because you love a player because of what they do, what they bring, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I mean that's the big part of it. I think that's the bigger picture thing with Seattle and a lot of these NFL teams nowadays. So again, it's halftime. Seattle's leading 3-0. We get no commercial breaks doing this, but we do want to take a second to just kind of tell you a little bit about us. So I'm Fred. This is Scott.
What's up, guys?
We are Birdland BS. So we are a Baltimore sports podcast. We do a live sports podcast about Baltimore and Maryland sports every Tuesday night at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. We stream live on YouTube. We also stream live on Twitter and Facebook. So if you haven't followed us there and you like what you're seeing, be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Also, check us out on our website at birdlandbs.com. If you're audio podcast fans and you want to listen to just the audio podcast versus the video podcast, we do have it on all the platforms out there: iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. I mean, all of them. You Google search it, you're going to find us, Birdland BS. We started doing these Monday Night Football commentary streams about 6 weeks ago, just for the fun of it. We thought we'd give a shot at it. We saw a few other people doing the streams, and I'm not one to badmouth anybody, but we thought, you know what, if some of these guys can do it and they're getting the following that they're doing, maybe we could do the same thing and see if we have any fun with it. And
especially with what we already do with the podcast,
right.
We've really developed that podcast. You know, you brought me on the podcast early this year, and we've just exploded. You know, from our following as well as our content. We're getting better. We're getting more in tune with what our listeners want to hear.
Right.
So that's why we like doing this. We like being in tune with you guys and what you guys want to hear. We have two comments. Timit says, Vikings don't have a good offense this year. Their only hope is Thielen and Diggs, but Dan Bailey isn't good for field goals, and the defense is struggling a lot this season.
I don't know. I can't say that the Vikings don't have a good offense. I mean, I understand. I can put an argument out there about Kirk Cousins being inconsistent. But look, I mean, the guys put up almost 3,500 yards prior to this game, 23 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. You know, between Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs alone, just the 1-2 combo there, I think they're personally one of the best 1-2 duos in the NFL, right up there with Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster at this point. Between the two of them combined, they already have over 2,000 yards combined, 182 receptions between the two, and 15 touchdowns. They both rank in the top 20 in the league in yards after the catch. So they have an explosive offense. They have the ability to make big plays. We're talking a game like this right now where the Seattle's winning 3-0. They're one big play from Diggs or Thielen
or Rudolph
from taking the lead in this game. And Kirk Cousins can do that on any given play. You got to give him time, though. You got to be able to protect him because he is a pocket passer. He can't make plays with his feet. He can't extend plays a la Russell Wilson, who can move around in the pocket and get out of the pocket. You're not going to see that much from Kirk Cousins. And so far, Seattle's been able to get a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins, and it's keeping him uncomfortable.
It is. And we've seen it all night. 4 for 8 for 27 yards for Cousins. Diggs has been held to 2 receptions for 26 yards. Rudolph 1 reception for 5 yards, and Adam Thielen, the guy we don't want catching the ball tonight for our fantasy team, has been shut out. It's been running back as far as rushing. You have Dalvin Cook, who's been doing the load of the carries with 8 carries for 37 yards, averaging 4.6. So this defense of Seattle is really just stifling this potentially explosive offense. But to your point, they also are a type of offense that because of that explosiveness, you have to be on them the entire game. So what I'm curious in the second half is, A, what adjustments do the Vikings make? Or do they make any adjustments to any route running? Do they make any adjustments to any slight scheme plays? If they don't, can they wear this Seattle defense down and basically run them down to make them cover them all game long and then come back in the fourth quarter and put up some big plays.
I think you bring up a good point there. I mean, that's one of the biggest things as a coach, as an offensive coordinator, is being able to make changes on the fly, and especially halftime adjustments. When you see your game plan isn't working or your attack on offense isn't working, adjusting to counteract what the defense is doing. And right now, like I said, the Vikings are putting the pressure on Kirk Cousins. And the only way you combat pressure is you get the ball out quickly. So you start off with short rants, short slants, short hitch routes, screen plays, anything that you can get the ball out in space quickly is what's going to keep, it's going to have to make Seattle play the pass a little bit more respectively and back off the line a little bit. It's the only way you can beat it.
It's the only way. On the other side of the ball, Russell Wilson, 7 for 12 for 44 yards, averaging 3.7 yards per play or per pass. Seattle rushing, it's been running back by committee. Carson has 10 carries for 52 yards, averaging 5.2. Rashad Penny, we saw him make that one big 80-yard run. The problem was it was only for a gain of about 16.
Yeah. Right.
So 5 carries for 39 yards. Wilson himself has scrambled for 3 times for 22 yards total. And Davis also 3 runs for 22 yards as well. So we continue to see them have that ability to run the ball when they need to, 136 total rushing yards. And then receiving, we see Lockett has the most receptions, 3 receptions for 23 yards. Vanett has 1 reception, which you talked about him earlier, and that was a 12-yard reception. 7 total receptions for 44 yards net for this team.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It is a defensive game.
And we expected that. I mean, again, when you look at their statistical rankings right now, these are 2 of the better defenses in the league. We had said that, Seattle's been playing great as of late in their last 3 games offensively. They've been putting up over 33 points a game. Russell Wilson, again, attacking through the air. What's he at? I think he's got like 29 maybe? Yeah, 29 touchdowns to 5 interceptions on the year. Not a whole lot of yardage. Just over 2,700 yards on the year prior to this game. The big thing that you get with Russell Wilson is you get a guy who's an accurate passer. He usually completes around 67, 68% of his pass innings. He's right on pace for that again this year. And it's a guy that, again, he can extend plays. You've always got to account for where Russell Wilson is if you're a defense, because if you don't, he has the ability to beat you with his legs, and we've seen him do that on an occasion here where he's running outside of the pocket, extending plays, and throwing the ball downfield. He hasn't been very accurate so far in this half, but if he can get things going, I like Seattle's chances here moving forward in the second half.
I agree. We do have a question that we're going to get to before we take a quick mini commercial break for us.
Yeah.
15-second break. John says, what are our thoughts and predictions for the Patriots? If it's me, it's the Patriots. It's always the Patriots. The Patriots are always in the hunt. Look, they've got some struggles. They've had some injuries that have hurt them. But I know it's cliche to say, but it is the Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Yeah. You can never count them out, even when it seems like they're down. Even after the loss to Miami, that's a major loss. But guess what? They're going to come back and they're going to want to stick it to somebody's throat, and they're going to want to stick it hard and quick to be able to hold somebody down and say, to hold somebody down and say, work. That was a slip up. That was not what we normally do.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing with the Patriots, again, as you said, cliche, they're going to be there in the end. We know that any team led by Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, they're typically in the thick of things at the end. The concerns that I have are Rob Gronkowski. Obviously, he's been battling some injuries off and on. He had a big game this week, so if he can continue to stay healthy, he's a huge target. We all know how much Brady relies on Gronkowski. The running game, Sony Michel, I think, is starting to hit that rookie wall, where he might be slowing down a bit from production there. So you're going to rely heavily on White out of the backfield there. White, to me, one of the best receiving backs in the league. I think he gets I think he's underrated as far as a receiving back goes. I like the Patriots. The AFC, honestly, isn't really a scary conference. The scariest team is the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are my pick to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. But I will say, Kansas City's defense is bad. I mean, they're really bad. So you're going to have to rely heavily on Mahomes sticking to the kind of production that he's putting up right now in the regular season, which is about 37 points per game. You're going to have to rely on that being consistent through the playoffs, going against the best of the best if they want to succeed. And you go up against a seasoned veteran team like in New England. New England could cause problems for Kansas City.
I agree 100%. Hey, what's up, Sam? Good to see you back in, man.
Hey, what's going on, Sam? Appreciate you tuning in, man.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little 15-second break. We'll be right
15
back.
seconds.
Check this out. Told you it wasn't long.
I don't even know if that was 15 seconds or not. Lord.
That was our little fun little stinger video. We have fun with that. Fred created that thing. We put it at the beginning of the podcast, and we figured it's our quick little break. We need to just scoot off camera for a second.
Yeah, my ass cheeks are falling asleep, so I needed to stretch them out. But yeah, again, appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. We understand that you have many options out there to choose from as far as commentary goes. If you don't like the Monday Night Football commentary, there are other YouTube streams. But we appreciate you guys tuning in to us.
I can completely tell you're in sales. I know you, but I can tell you're in sales because we know you have many options. We're glad you chose Birdland BS today. It works out perfect.
Sometimes I go into my sales pitch mode.
Hey, man, I'm the same way. I come from a sales background as well. John, thanks. He says thanks for answering his question. We thank you for viewing us, for watching in. I hope you like what you're seeing. We're going to work on the ums and the ahs. We're continuing to do that as we get better with this.
Our podcast is actually a lot better with the ums and ahs. We don't really do it as much there because it's an hour and we kind of stick to, not a script, but we stick to an outline. Honestly, with this whole Monday Night Football commentary, this is 4 hours straight of two guys just sitting here commentating on two teams that they don't know like the back of their hand like they do their home team. And it's 4 hours straight, no commercial breaks. So sometimes the ahs and the ums can be tough. But we're trying. We're trying. As looks like the Vikings are going to line up to kick it off here to start off the second half. The ball is going to go out of the back of the end zone. Tyler Lockett just lets it go, and Seattle is going to start the third quarter here at the 25-yard line.
As they move on through this game, we talked about it with Vikings needing to step up and run this offense a little bit more heavy, be able to run downhill as well as get down the field. Wilson and this Seattle offense as well needs to keep charging down the field. Their one problem is they failed twice in the red zone.
Yeah.
And they need to step up at this point. This is a 3-0 game. This really should not be this close.
Wilson lines up here under center. He's got an I formation with Dixon lined up as the fullback. They hand it off to Carson. Carson goes left side of the line, pushes forward, gains about 5.5, maybe even 6 yards on that play as he gets out across the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up second down and either a short 5 or a long 4, however you want to look at that.
I think it's a long 4 if I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so again, Seattle able to get the running game going pretty well there in the first half, as really contributions across the board from all three running backs. You had Penny, Carson, and Davis all putting in contributions. Russell Wilson lines up in the gun. He flicks the ball off to Tyler Lockett. Lockett goes left side, gets the first down, gains about 5 yards on that as he gets across the 40 out to the 41-yard line, picks up the first down.
I have to laugh. For those of you that aren't watching this game, Vikings wearing their normal white away jerseys with the purple pants, and the Seahawks are in a very bright, as my wife just texted me and said, those jerseys are mighty bright.
Yeah,
they are a bright lime green. They are a bright lime green.
Wilson under center, takes a snap, looks out to his left. He throws to his right tackle, who was an eligible receiver on that play, makes the catch, but stumbles down after about a 7 or 8 yard gain, and he is going crazy.
He is getting some flack from the sidelines.
Oh, that's funny. You don't see too often where a right tackle is lined up as a receiver, off the end there. Is lined up as a tight end, really. Makes the catch, but gets happy feet. Stumbles out after the gain of about 8 yards. Booger Farland on the sideline in his little trailer going crazy. Russell Wilson in the gun. Hands it off. Left side to Carson. Carson gets out for a gain of about 3 yards. Picks up the first down. It's going to take it out to about the 47, 48-yard line. It was George Fant, the offensive tackle, with that catch there. He's in his 3rd year out of Western Kentucky. That's got to be a cool thing, you know. You don't ever get to touch a ball as an offensive lineman, so to be involved in a play call.
But when you get it, you want to run it downfield. You want to run it to the house. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to take that ball to the house, but I hate to tell him he wasn't getting to the house.
Brain was moving faster than his feet. Wilson lined up here under the center from the 49-yard line. He's got single back, 2 wide receivers. Pitches it out to Lockett. Lockett comes back, but he loses. He's going to lose about 4, maybe even 5 yards on the play as the Vikings sniff that out from the get-go. Lockett started off in motion from the right side. Wilson pitched it out behind himself as Lockett tried to come off to the left side of the line. And again, Vikings had 3 or 4 defenders there waiting for it. Everson Griffin with the tackle.
Timon has a question when we get some time about the Jacksonville Jaguars we'll get to.
We'll get to that. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 14. Wilson in the gun. Hands it off. Carson left side. Got out to about the 48-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 11 here. Down to 11:40 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Everson Griffin yet again on another stop, having a big start here to the second half with a couple of big tackles.
I said it. He's got 4 sacks so far this year, and he's showing why he is so strong on that defensive line.
Wilson lined up in the gun here. He's got single back to his left. He's got trips out to his right. Takes a snap, looking to his right. He throws out to, is that Moore? And Moore drops the ball on a quick slant route. Probably wouldn't have gotten the first down there. Would have gained maybe 6, maybe 7 yards on that. But nonetheless, he drops the ball. It's going to stay 4th and 11.
Moore's one of their leading receivers, too. 22 receptions in the year, 413 yards. Doesn't compare to Lockett's 44 receptions, 713 yards. But he is their second. He's their number 2.
Dixon lined up here to punt. Takes a snap. Gets the kickoff clean.
And it looks like it's going to be
fair call.
Sherrill back at about the 16, maybe 17-yard line, depending on where they spot that ball as Cousins and this offense marches out on the field. Look, they have to give their hats off to the defense. They need to give their defense some help here.
Yeah, defense is keeping them in this game for sure.
It's a 3-0 game. It definitely has been a game that we expected to be a defensive game. I just don't know that I expected it to be this much of a defensive game with the weapons that Cousins has, with the weapons that Wilson has, and their ability to extend and make plays. I wasn't expected. So Timon asks, what's the biggest problem with the Jacksonville Jaguars? They were good last season, but damn, they are doing bad this season.
I think it's a lot of things. You know, they're a young team, so they were dealing with their first round of success down there in Jacksonville. Blake Bortles is another part of the problem. Blake Bortles, I've never been a big fan of. Another wildly inconsistent quarterback. But, I mean, when you think of the Jacksonville Jaguars going into this year, I had them winning their division in a landslide and probably getting back to the AFC Championship prior to the season starting, just based on what I saw last year. But defensively, they have not lived up to the bill. I think they have a little bit of an arrogance to them. Obviously, the comments that Jalen Ramsey made. Jalen Ramsey, a damn good cornerback. There's no arguing that.
Not at all.
There's no reason to go above and beyond to the point where you put your foot in your mouth with some comments that you make about quarterbacks. Because when you do that, you got to get out there and back it up. And he's done that on occasion. But then he's also had some lapses along with this defense. So I think there's no simple answer to why the Jacksonville Jaguars are struggling like they are.
I wish there was a simple answer because I was expecting them to run away.
And the other thing is, the division as a whole is better. So you get Houston with their quarterback back in Deshaun Watson. He was out last year after the injury, so Houston's a much better team. You get Indianapolis getting Andrew Luck back, which makes Indianapolis a much better team. So those aren't 2 or 4 gimme games there now, because you got 4 games against division rivals against 2 really good teams. So again, no simple answer. I think it's a combination of things. But here we go. Vikings coming out for their first drive here of the second half. Right? They haven't been out on the field yet.
Yeah, no, first drive of the second half. Cousins is going to come out with a 3 wide receiver set. Looks like he's going to have a tight end to his left.
The crowd is getting into it already.
He's going to put Diggs in motion. Cooks in the backfield. Rough snap, gets the ball out to
Treadwell.
Treadwell, yeah, it was Treadwell on his first catch of the game here. So out to the right. And it looked like he had trouble with the snap there. I'd be interested to see that replay. It looked like he really did struggle with the snap. They're showing Adam Thielen now 11.3 targets per game. He has 0 tonight. We like this for our fantasy standpoint.
We are good with that for fantasy.
Sam says Bortles is a problem in Jacksonville. Brought the defense morale down.
Bortles is definitely part of the problem for sure.
Cousins under center. Cooks in the backfield. Diggs in motion from left to right. Thielen down to the left. Drops back. Fakes the handoff. Cooks. Rolls left. Gets it over the center to Rudolph, who's going to get a gain.
That's all, folks.
Who's going to get a gain of about 3, making it a 3rd and 1 situation. Looks like they're going to be on about their own 26-yard line. So 3rd and 1 here. 10 minutes left. And it's going to be a QB keep, as Cousins is still fighting for a gain of about 5.
Yeah, Cousins goes the right side there, up the middle, just keeps turning the legs. Took a defender, maybe even 2 with him. Gains about 3, maybe 4 yards on that play. Big conversion there for the Vikings to extend their drive.
I think Nick just realized you were wearing what hat you were wearing. He asked about Loxley. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
Cousins under center. 2 out to the left, 1 out to the right. Cooks in the backfield. Drops back. Looks left. It's going to be Treadwell wrapped up, but still gets a gain of about 2, maybe 3, depending on the spot here. So we're going to see 2nd and about 8. Or maybe 7, again, depending on where we see them spot this ball.
Yeah, so actually on our podcast tomorrow, we're going to talk about the Terps and the whole University of Maryland situation. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Tune in for the Terps talk.
Time it. You at least have an excuse for your stutter with your mouth. I just don't, other than my sinus. I mean, All right, Cousins is going to line up under center. I'm sorry, he's going to be drop back into the gun. 2 wide out to the right, 1 out to the left. Cooks in the backfield to the right. 4 seconds left on the play clock. Kicks it off. Tosses it out to Cooks, who bounces out to the right. Gets out and gets a gain of about 7. So we're going to see a 3rd and 1 situation again here.
Do we see Cousins come with the sneak again? It worked last time.
And he tossed that ball out to Cooks a little bit too far. Cooks just barely got fingertips on it to get that catch and get the extra yardage that he needed to get closer to the first down.
It's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 1 here. Vikings not being easy on themselves with these 3rd down conversions.
No. They're going to go with a 3 wide receiver set. 1 tight end set. Rudolph's going to be set to the left. Cooks in the backfield. Under center. Drops back. Fakes the handoff to Cooks. Feeling pressure. Moves out to the right. Rolling. Throws out and out of bounds.
Had nobody open on the play there. Got away. Got as close to the sideline as he could before dumping the ball off. And it's going to bring up 4th down and 1. Zimmer is not happy on the sideline.
I think he was calling for a holding call.
I didn't see a hold on the play. I was looking. I didn't see anything.
Now, Johnson with the pressure for the Seahawks, just forcing him out. And now having to punt. Not a good way you want to start this first possession of the second half.
This will be the Vikings' 5th punt already of the game.
7:51 left in the 3rd quarter as he gets the kickoff clean.
Looks like Lockett's going to field this at about the 19-yard line where he will fair catch it. And it'll be first down and 10 for Seattle. Again, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up while you're here. It means the world to us. It helps us get seen in the YouTube searches. Also, if you've got any comments or anything that you want us to hear us talk about, make sure you drop your comments in the chat.
And the links to all of our pages are below as well, so make sure you go check out all those links.
If you haven't seen some of the alerts yet, if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to see a new alert pop up. We also have a donation button that's down in our description down below. If you make a donation, we've got a cool little gift that pops up. Again, not asking for it, just putting it out there because we do appreciate the support that goes into this show.
GIF, not gift.
Yeah, GIF.
GIF.
I did say GIF. I didn't say
I know,
gift.
but I'm just putting it out there for our listeners.
Clear.
Like somebody will go back and go, I heard gift.
Yeah.
There was no T.
GIF.
So, time had started. I guess he saw it as we did. He said the Vikes offense looked like they're settling in. Finally, nope.
Yeah.
Divine Hood chiming in again. Another regular listener says, thanks for streaming again.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you tuning in again, as always.
We appreciate all you guys out there that are listening. This is hard to fill, so please feel free. We haven't gotten a lot of regular questions. I think people have just been listening to us go, which I appreciate.
Yeah. But you got to realize this is 4 hours straight. We can only say the same thing so many times. We like the interaction, so we encourage you, if you're out there listening, even just, again, the roll call stuff, chiming in as to where you're listening from, how you came across us. Did you just search us on Google? Did you search on YouTube? Were you already a subscriber? These are things that we like to know just so that way we can kind of gear our next episodes and our next shows around some of these things that we figure out from you guys.
And there's several people out there that have been watching us, every week and have watched us grow. As you guys can look, you could probably go back and look at some of the other videos. This little border thing around us is new. Green screen is coming, so we'll have some background stuff instead of just this plain white wall behind us at some point. So we appreciate all the interaction that you guys provide us and all of you guys that come back every week. Feel free to share it on all the social media sites. We're on Twitter at FredBLBS. You can see it right up here. At ScottBLBS right up here. Make sure you check it out. And also, be sure to hit us up if you have any questions throughout the week. We might be able to also get onto them and check it out. Time it says, hey guy, or it said, my friend DZ Jeezy, he was watching the Rams game and commenting. He showed me your channel. He subscribed. And keep up the good work. We
appreciate that, Time it. Really do, man. As Wilson takes a snap, hands it off to Carson, left side. Carson gains about 2 yards on that play. Takes it out to about the 20-yard line. It's going to bring up second down and 8. We're down to 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Again, Seattle still leading 3-0. This has been an easy game on the scoreboard. You haven't had to change it a lot. Haven't had to change or update much at all tonight. I like it. This is kind of one of those, in baseball terms, pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
One of the 1-0 type games here, as both of these defenses are doing really well.
We'll call it a linebacker duel.
Wilson lines up in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers. He's got Carson to his right. Play action, looking deep. Can't find anybody. He's got pressure coming. Just throws the ball away. Well, actually, there was a wide receiver there because that was going to be questionable if that was a intentional grounding. But there was a receiver in the general area. So that's going to bring up third down. As really, these corners for Minnesota are doing a good job covering here. Ooh. Russell Wilson really had nowhere to go. Now, Lockett did get his corner to fall, but Wilson would have had to throw across his body to make that completion. And I think he was on the move at that point. They're showing Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin, a big target that's often injured for this team. Wilson in the gun. He's got Davis to his left. Wilson on a draw. Interesting play call. Goes off the left side of the line there and slides down for a gain of about 1. It's going to bring up 4th and 7. Not a very well executed drive there for Seattle, to say the least.
And he's chirping right now with one of his offensive linemen. I think somebody missed.
Somebody was supposed to pull there and go out and block. And, Russell had nobody out there in front of him.
No. Pete Carroll chewing away on his gum again. If somebody has a tie to Seattle, please let me know if it's the same. If it's the same pack of gum or the same piece of gum.
Dixon gets off the punt here, and it's fair caught at about the 28-yard line
by Sherrills.
So one trot's Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense.
6:12 left in the third. Still 3-0, man. This is just crazy with how the way this game is going. Jan Blake chimes in and says, "Go Seahawks."
All right. Appreciate you tuning in, Jan.
3-0. I wouldn't be happy if I were a Seahawks fan right now for this. A 3-0 game, I would not be happy at all.
Duh Bears.
The chances Duh Bears.
Yeah, Duh Bears. They put up a good performance last night to be able to shut down that Rams offense the way that they did, and what Jared Goff had 4 interceptions last night. The Bears defense is for real. And as the season goes on, the temperatures drop more and more in Chicago there. All that does is play into the hearts of, or plays into the benefit for the Bears. If Mitch Trubisky can hold it together, they've got a good chance at making the playoffs.
So Steve chimes in and says, longtime Bengal fan.
Hey, Steve, appreciate the donation, man. That means a lot.
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome, man.
We appreciate that.
That goes a long way, bro. I really, really appreciate that.
So I have Steve White, a different Steve, chiming in and says, longtime Bengals fan, haven't been good since Boomer, great QB out of Maryland. That he was.
Yeah.
He was very, very good QB out of Maryland. Time it says, Vikings defense, the only reason why this game is still 3-0.
Absolutely.
100%. You know, the Vikings defense came into this game second in red zone defense, and they're showing it.
Yeah,
twice now they've
living up
them.
they're living up to what they've been doing all year round. Both of these defenses, honestly. I mean, both defenses, again, Seattle's defense is completely shutting down this Vikings offense. You know, I think Adam Thielen, what did he have, a run of like 7 games or something in the beginning of the year with 100+ yards receiving straight. He set an NFL record. He doesn't even have a catch. He doesn't even have a target on the night. I mean, that's you're shutting down one of the most prolific wide receivers in the game right now. Really, both of them. Because, I mean, Diggs, yes, he has a couple catches, but nothing like he would on a normal night.
No, not what we're used to seeing out of Diggs. And Divine says, who is your MVP for the year?
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, hands down for me. I'm 100% in agreement. What he has done and the way he's been able to play, the way he can extend plays, his accuracy, his ability for the deep ball, his ability to find the guy over the middle, it just all blends together. Cousins is going to set up in the shotgun. He's going to pull Murray into his left, trips out to the right, one out to the left, steps back, dumps it off. That's going to be a Thielen first catch, and Thielen's going to get a gain of about 7.
Ask and you shall receive.
2nd and 3. Thielen gets his first catch with 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
So getting back to the MVP question, so Pat Mahomes for many reasons. One, obviously the numbers speak for themselves as far as what he's doing, but to be able to carry that team to an 11-2 record with one of the worst defenses in football, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
that's really impressive.
100%. All right, he's going to line up under center. He's going to have Cook in the backfield, Thielen out to his left, puts Murray in motion, and he gets a big first down there, gain of about 5. If he doesn't get tripped up there, he is probably going to take that to the house, as he had no defender in front of him.
Big shout out to Sam there, man. Really appreciate that donation. Sam, big fan of the show, tunes in every week to our podcast, man. We really genuinely from my heart appreciate your support, man.
100% agree. 100% agree. All right, as Cousins gets under center again, Cook's in the backfield, Thielen to the left, Diggs to the right, steps back. He's going to dump it off to Dalvin Cook.
Gain of about 5.
Yeah. So Cook is going to get them into a position to have 2nd and 5 from, I guess it was about their 44-yard line.
4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the third. Seattle still only leads 3-0. Minnesota finally moving forward a little bit on their offense right now.
All right, he's going to line up under center again. He's going to have Cooks in the backfield again. 2 wide out to the right. Scrambles to the right. Oh, looking for an open Treadwell, but There's going to be a flag on the play. It was broken up.
Bad decision to throw that ball by Cousins. There was 3 defenders around Treadwell there. He would have had to fit that in a very tight window. Prior to the pass, there's going to be holding
on the defense.
On the defense, it's going to bring up automatic first down. And again, it's the rookie Trey Flowers. We talked about him earlier, having a really good year as a rookie. I think he was a 5th-round draft pick. But, yeah, clearly holding Diggs there. Diggs showing his frustration. And finally, the flag comes in. Diggs is a tough guy to cover for sure.
He is. You have to account for him. You've got to account for Thielen, and you've got to account for Rudolph at all times. Sets up under center. Thielen out to the left. Cooks in the backfield, hands the ball off to Cooks. Cooks goes up the center to the right side, gets a gain of about 4 as the pile tries to push, and it looks like they're only going to give him about 3 here for the line of gain.
So time had asked, what's the problem with Carolina? The Browns just got to them. I don't watch the game, but what the hell happened? Your guess is as good as mine, man. That team, when they came to Baltimore, was a totally different looking team than what they've been over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The wheels have kind of fallen off there in Carolina. They've got a good team. I don't know what the deal is there. Honestly, I don't.
Cousins is calling for a different package as they get it set. 3 wide receivers, 2 out to the right, 1 out to the left. Tight end in motion. And it's going to be a throw to Cook for a gain of about 2, maybe 3 there. And it looks like we're going to see a 3rd and 3 with 3:15 left.
Nick says, need Cook to get 10 total points and a half in a half-point PPR. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get that, the Vikings need to continue to move the ball. They have not shown that they can do that so far this game until this drive. 3rd down and 3.
Cousins Cousins in the gun, trips out to the left, 1 out to the right. He's got Murray in the backfield with him, steps back, looking to his right, finds Diggs. Diggs is going to get about 2 yards. 4th down and 1.
It's going to bring a tough decision here for Zimmer.
2:30 left on the clock in the 3rd.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 4th down and exactly 1 yard. So
no, Brent Penny did not score. Sorry. And Sam chimes in and says, "You guys got a good point. The rain is falling pretty hard in Seattle now. As it picks up. It started with a light rain early in the first half.
Cousins under center. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
He's going to put Murray behind him. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to be Murray. Murray's not going to get it. It's going to stop. We'll get a flag.
There's a flag late, though. Flag late. I think this may be against the offense in the way that they were lined up. Bobby Wagner there up the middle with the big run stuff.
Flag came out of the backfield.
I don't know if everybody was
going
set.
On the offense.
And it is. Looks like Seattle's going to decline the penalty, which makes sense. And Seattle's going to take over as, again, the Vikings stall. First time the Vikings get on the other side of the field and can't get anywhere. Can't get beyond the 40-yard line.
That's to the point of, I think it was, who was it that made the comment just a few minutes ago? It was Divine Hood. Said defense is starting to take over now that we're in December football. I like they say, defense wins championships. 100% true.
Absolutely. We know a lot about good defenses here in Baltimore. We had one that carried us to a championship back in 2000. So absolutely. And that's one of my frustrations with the NFL. We kind of I hinted on this in the podcast last week. Is everybody's kind of got this notion that you have to be this high-powered offense. You got to be able to put up 30 to 40 points a game to be able to win in today's NFL. And I don't think it's true. I mean, we're seeing the Ravens have a lot more success now playing better defensive football and running the ball. I mean, they're averaging over 200 yards a game on the ground now, controlling the time of possession, which is keeping the defense fresh longer throughout the game, so you don't see these 3rd and 4th quarter lapses where the team is just spent and tired. So as popular as these, these high-flying offenses are in today's NFL, if you have a good defense and you have a strong running game, that can still win at this level.
It can. It can all absolutely play a role. And to your point about time possession, right now the Seahawks are outplaying in time possession by almost 4 minutes, 23 minutes and 17 seconds to 19 minutes and 42 seconds. Yeah. But yet, we still only have a 3-0 game.
Right.
So you can charge down the field all you want. You can waste all this time, but you have to finish. You have
to be able to execute. And Seattle, again, has gotten down inside the red zone twice. And Minnesota's defense has come up with big stops and turnovers, and that's what's keeping this game at 3-0 is the Vikings defense. As to I'm not sure whose point it was earlier, but that's the diffthem in this game is the Vikings.
Devon Hood,
the Vikings defense in the red zone.
Time in. I'm going to say this in the voice I think you meant in reference to them not getting the 4th and 1. It's not good. It's just terrible. It's just terrible.
That's terrible. That's Charles Barkley. I love that man.
You ever seen his golf swing? Hitch?
I have not, but I heard it's.
I play golf, and so for me, that hitch, I cannot. He gets down and he stops the club. Imagine your softball or your baseball swing. Yeah. Imagine stopping a quarter of the way through your swing, and then swinging through from there. That's what it's like.
On first down. Looked like Carson ran left side there for a gain of about 3 yards. Going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Minute 44 seconds left to go in the third quarter. We're showing Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner with seven tackles on the day. Leads the team in tackles, not surprising.
No.
Wilson in the gun. He's got 2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. He's looking downfield. He finds Lockett as Lockett lays out on the comeback route, keeps both feet in bounds, and they're ruling it a catch. Good catch there by Tyler Lockett that picks up a first down.
This is close enough. If I'm Wilson, I'm getting up there, and I'm getting these guys to the line.
Yeah, he definitely had both hands under the ball.
Does the ball move? The ball touches the ground and moves. I'm challenging this if I am the Vikings. If I'm Zimmer, I'm throwing the challenge flag here. And they Wilson don't do it.
Gets the snap off, hands it off to Penny left side. Penny gains maybe about 2.5, 3 yards on that play. Is going to bring up 2nd down and 8.
As he was holding that ball is underneath him, in between his arms, hanging out, touches the ground. The ball moves. That should have been an incomplete pass. Lucky call there for the Seahawks to continue this drive.
It's questionable. I mean, it wasn't a definitive incomplete pass there, but definitely worth throwing a challenge flag on for sure.
Yeah.
33 seconds left to go as the play clock continues to move. Wilson hands it off Penny. Penny has nowhere to go. He's hitting the backfield. Gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage or a half-yard loss. We'll see where they mark the ball. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 8 yards here, as we're probably going to see this third quarter come to an end as Seattle hanging on to this 3-0 lead over the Vikings here as we head to the fourth quarter.
Moving into the fourth, we continue to see them moving on. Brent chimes in and says that was Penny. Trying to figure out when you were referencing it being Penny, because Penny wasn't involved.
When it was Penny with what?
I'm assuming with one of those plays there. I'm assuming he's referencing the catch, but it wasn't Penny on the catch. Penny went out. Penny was the lineup in the backfield. Went out to the left on that catch.
Oh, he might have been talking the first down run that I kind of looked up, and I wasn't sure if it was Penny or if it was Carson. So if that's what you're talking about, Brent, I apologize on that. Sometimes you can't see the ball. And I looked down for a second there, and by the time I got up, play was over.
That's what sucks about being at the mercy of TV.
Yeah, and a TV that's sitting also like 30 feet away from you. So, but I appreciate your correction, Brent.
On the first down, yeah.
So again, we expected this defensive battle. I think the way Russell Wilson and this offense had been playing, I thought we'd see more points than 3 points at this point.
Yeah.
Going into the fourth, that was a lot of
out
points.
Out of both of these teams.
Going into the fourth quarter, again, 3-0. But this is what I'm saying. I was trying to say earlier, defense is a premium in this league. There really are only a handful of defenses in the NFL right now that are worth much of anything. Honestly, there's all these teams now are geared around these high-flying offenses. And honestly, with a lot of the rule changes that have kind of taken place in the NFL over the years, it's made playing defense a lot harder. How you go in to tackle somebody, the tackle box area, not leading with your head. Defenders now, instead of just reading and reacting to a play and making a tackle, really have to be aware of their technique and how they're tackling. And honestly, that kind of split-second adjustment or split-second thought can make the difference in whether you make a tackle or don't.
It's funny. We were watching the game the other day, and my wife actually asked us, why are there so many injuries? Because we watched another injury and then another injury. It was like in a 3-minute span of the game that we were watching, we saw 4 different injuries. And to me, that is one of the exact reasons. Like, I understand it's player safety, but you have to understand this game has been played for so long a certain way to now ask these guys literally overnight. In a course of a season is overnight.
Right.
To me. To ask these guys overnight to completely change how you're tackling a guy, it's hard to do.
Russell Wilson starts off the fourth quarter here in the gun. He's got trips out to his right, one wide receiver to his left, single back formation. It looks like Penny's back there with, or no, that's Davis. He throws deep right side. Lockett was there, but the ball was thrown a little out of the...
And a flag.
Wow, late flag on that. There was definitely contact.
Inadvertent contact, if I'm making a quick judgment call.
There was definitely contact on that, but the ball was not catchable. So the refs are going to have to come together on this and make a call because this ball was thrown well over Lockett's head.
There is a hook there.
I mean, the defender, Rhodes, definitely grabs his left arm a little bit, so there's definitely contact there, but was the ball catchable as it was thrown 3 or 4 yards over his head and out of bounds?
And they're going to call it pass interference here.
Wow. Big break for Seattle. Brings it down inside the 10-yard line. Rhodes, that's a big penalty against the defense. Again, points are at a premium right now. Zimmer is
not happy at all,
up, to say the least.
As they put the ball on the 10-yard line here.
14:54 to go here in the fourth. Russell in the gun. He's got Carson. Was to his right, now shifts over to his left. First and goal from the 10-yard line. Wilson hands the ball off to Carson. Carson tries to go right side. He is wrapped up. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there, may have lost half a yard. Nonetheless, it's going to bring up second down at about 10. Seattle, big chance here to go up 2 scores, which in this game might be the final nail in the coffin, the way things are kind of going right now.
Vikings need to do what they've been doing and stop the Seattle offense, but not have any stupid penalties on their own.
Wilson in the red zone, 0 for 2 today, 1 interception, lines up in the gun. Play action. He's got pressure from the right side, and he is sacked as Minnesota brings the heat. He had 2 or 3 guys, 2 guys from his right side, 1 guy from his left side. Wilson had nowhere to go on that, and it was quick. Looks like Wilson, to me, is going to have to change up his snap count a little bit because...
Anthony Barr, clean off the right side of the line, comes straight in for that sack.
Yeah, Wilson's going to have to change up his snap count a little bit here because it looks like Minnesota is getting a good jump and a good read on Wilson's snap count. Vikings dropping back here in coverage, playing like a prevent-style defense from the 17-yard line. Wilson throws in the back left corner of the end zone. The ball is caught by Moore, but it's out of bounds. Going to bring up a coverage. 4th down. So Seattle's going to bring out Sebastian Janikowski for a field goal here. That's a big stop for the Vikings to keep this game, even with the kick, keep this game within 1 possession as the rain continues to fall here in Seattle. Sebastian Janikowski out for the 35-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up. and hooks right a little bit, but stays within the upright, and it is good as Seattle takes the lead 6-0.
6-0 now. Fourth quarter, 13:22 left in the fourth. I tell you what, it's still a one-possession game.
Yeah,
6-0. If the Vikings can charge down the field here, they have the ability to get this game, within striking distance on just one play with one guy. Adam Thielen is who I think it's going to be, as much as I don't want it to be.
Well, let's hope for our fantasy stakes that it's not. Brent says you guys are doing a great job. We appreciate that. We got 47 of you guys in here watching right now, guys and ladies. While you're here, do us a favor. Hit the thumbs up. Smash the subscribe button. All that stuff means the world to us. We're trying to get our name out there. Puts us in the higher up in the searches when people are looking for Monday Night Football traffic or Monday Night Football streams.
Yeah.
We realize, again, not my sales pitch, but we realize you do have other options out there to listen to. So we appreciate that you guys choose to listen to us. Hopefully, our insight gives you guys a little bit of a break from the I'll just say the not so pleasant Monday Night Football commentary that we get every Monday night on ESPN.
Yeah, there's some parts to it that I could go without.
Now, I will say Tony Romo, he's not on Monday Night Football, but Tony Romo, I love him as an announcer.
I like him and I like Witten as announcers. And my reason for that is they're not
a big Witten fan.
I am, because of their knowledge of the game.
Well, that's my reason for liking Tony. Is Tony can read a play right out of the huddle, know what's coming, and I mean he's right 90% of the time with his calls.
So he can read it not off the field, but he couldn't read it on the field.
No, I never said he was a great athlete, although he is. He's a pretty good golfer.
He is a good golfer. I've heard that.
So here we go. We're in the fourth quarter. Seattle up now 6-0 on 2 field goals by Sebastian Janikowski. Seattle again gets the big pass interference call to get inside the red zone down at the 10-yard line, but the drive stalls there. Seattle has been not so good on offense inside the red zone.
No, and the defense for the Vikings has really stepped up to show why they're ranked second in the league in red zone defense.
Yeah, it all comes down to the pass rush as well. You gotta keep pressure on Russell Wilson. You gotta keep him contained inside the pocket. And it looks like the Vikings, once they get inside the red zone, really do a good job of buckling down and doing that.
They do. Our buddy Ryan signing in late. What's up, man? He said we kept it for a one-score game for him, just for you, man.
That's right. Appreciate it, Ryan. Had a lot of fun with you this weekend, man. We'll have to we'll get up again here soon with Scott.
As the kick goes off, Seattle kicks it. It's going to go out of bounds and be for a touchback.
What about Chris Collinsworth? Come on now. You know what's sad about that is I actually have, in some weird way, family tie relationship. Like, he's related to me in some sort of way through my uncle. I don't know. It's weird how it all works. I don't know the family tree of it. I cannot stand that guy. And his son is a spitting image of him. Sounds like him, looks like him. Ugh, just as annoying.
As Cousins sets up under center, he's got Cook in the backfield, puts Rudolph in motion from left to right, Thielen to the right, fakes the handoff to Cook, looking downfield. He's got Thielen for another catch, and it looks like he's going to spot it. It looks like they're going to give him a first down.
Yeah, it looked like he gained about 10.5 yards on that, just enough to get across the first down marker there, as that's Thielen's only his second catch of the night, as Griffin has done a really, really good job of shutting him down so far.
Yeah, they've really done a great job of shutting him down, but now they're starting to see what I was saying at halftime, wearing down this defense and running them to death.
That was Adam Thielen's 100th reception of the year. Randy Moss holds the record for the Vikings with 111.
Cousins under center. Drops back, looking deep to his left. He's got Diggs, and somehow Diggs comes up with the ball. What a catch.
What a catch.
Diggs went up, defender all over him, and comes down with the ball. What a catch. That could be, in my opinion, one of the catches of the year. Diggs, he comes up with the defender all over him.
Diggs is really good about using his body to get position in front of the corner. The corner is all over him. He's got his hand both hands in his chest, but somehow Diggs lets that ball get into his body, wraps the ball up, and holds it for a big catch there.
Yeah, what a play.
Big play.
Cousins under center. Diggs to his left. Thielen out to his right. Cooks in the backfield. Gets the play off in time. Treadwell gets the catch out to the left. Gets the ball down to about the 9.5-yard line as 11. They march down the field here.
Yeah. It's going to bring up second down and about 4 on the play as Cousins just got that ball off before the play clock expired. Giovanni says, where's the game? Yeah, unfortunately, we can't stream the actual video of the game because YouTube will kick us off due to copyright reasons right away.
Yeah, they won't even hesitate on it. All right, as Cousins sets up, feels pressure, throws off to Thielen. Thielen, with a second effort, gets down to about the 3-yard line. We're going to see first and goal, and the Vikings' first chance here at first and goal.
Now we'll see if the Seattle defense here, their first test inside the red zone today, we'll see if Seattle can keep the same kind of momentum that the Vikings have in the red zone and shut down this Vikings offense and keep them out of the end zone. A big hold here would go a long way in this game.
All right. And it looks like they're actually going to spot at the 4-yard line, not the 2 or the 3. The 4-yard line, first and goal. He's under center. Puts Murray in motion. Thielen out to his left. Hands the ball off to Murray. Murray gets a gain of about 2 on the play as Wagner tried to bend Murray in half while he was on the ground there.
Timon wants to know how many yards on that huge play. Did you see the yardage total come up on the screen?
I did not see it come up on the screen there. Give me a second. Let me see if I can kind of go back here
I'll
for
go
you.
ahead with the game. So again, 10 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Seattle leading 6-0. Second and goal for Minnesota from the 2-yard line. Cousins lines up in the gun. He's got Cook to his left. He's got 4 wide receivers. Well, 3 wide receivers and a tight end with Rudolph. Takes the snap. He's looking to the middle of the field. Can't find anybody. Rolls to his left. Throws in the back corner to Thielen. But it's just out of Thielen's reach. Almost a huge catch by Adam Thielen there as Thielen and the corner are jawing at each other. It's going to bring up a big, big third down here for the Vikings. It's going to be third down and goal. 9 minutes and 54 seconds left to go. The fans are on their feet, making as much noise as they possibly can. It's got to be deafening. Cousins in the gun here. Cook to his right. 4 wide receivers. Hands it off to Cook. Cook has nowhere to go. Bobby Wagner.
Fourth and 1.
And it looked like Steven on the play with a big, big stop there. It's going to bring up 4th and goal. And here comes a huge decision by Mike Zimmer.
48 yards on that huge Diggs play.
Okay, so 48 yards there. Time it. So I know you were keeping track for fantasy purposes. So there you go. You got 4.8 points on that.
Yeah.
Well, actually 5 if you include the reception if you're a point PPR league.
All right, Cousins, they're going to go for on 4th and goal here.
Interesting call.
I think you're going to go over the center here with something to either Thielen or Rudolph. As he does, goes over to Rudolph, off of Rudolph's hands, and it is incomplete.
Ball is thrown behind Rudolph there. Rudolph couldn't get his arms around in time. The ball goes off of the defender just enough to redirect the ball, and Kyle Rudolph couldn't pull it in. Huge, huge stop there for Seattle as, again, we continue to see really, really good red zone defense now on both sides.
Yeah. I can't believe, I called the play on who they were going to and where they were going, but if I'm there, I would have actually tried the run. Delvin Cook out to the right a little bit. I think he could have gotten in, but
I don't know. You got over, what do we have, like 10 minutes left to go. I understand you haven't been down in the red zone very much, but look, it's still a 1-possession game. You kick the field goal there. You bring it back to within 1 field goal, so you don't have to score a touchdown. If you get the ball in field goal range, again, you can tie this game up. In a low-scoring game like this, when you've got 10 minutes left to go, I don't like leaving points on the board.
Every point matters at this point.
Yeah, it really does, especially when you're talking about 2 teams that are in the thick of the playoff race. Seattle or the Vikings kind of holding on to that 6th seed right now. A win here goes a big way in whether they get in or not as a wild card team.
Goes a long, long way here.
Yeah. So again, do us a favor while you're listening. If you got any things that you want us to talk about, make sure you drop those in the chat. Hit the thumbs up if you can. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We are Birdland BS, Fred and Scott. We do a podcast, a Baltimore sports-based podcast every Tuesday night at 8:45. So we will be back here on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitter Live tomorrow night at 8:45 to talk all Maryland sports. So we're going to talk some Ravens. We're going to talk Terps football, basketball, even soccer a little bit because the Terps, national champions for soccer. So we're going to get into a lot of things covering the Terps this week. Excited for this week's show.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that I am going to bring up was an announcement, and I'm not going to give them all away, but it does have a playing on what we're seeing in this game, as I believe Seattle was one of the team, or one of the cities named as a home team for the new XFL.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm curious to see what happens. They said they're going to go out and get some of these players that aren't playing on other teams.
Seattle takes it over here from the 2-yard line, hands the ball off to, was that Carson that time? I don't want to get it wrong, Brett. It's hard to tell. As they're showing the replay of the 4th down attempt here. Nah, the XFL. I'm a big fan of football in general. So if football is going to be on, I watched the flag football league that was on this year. You and
I went to brigade games as well.
Yeah. A lot of former Ravens were in that flag football league. So I'll watch the XFL. It's just the first go at it was so awful.
Yeah,
it was so awful. Wilson from his own end zone, scrambling, looking right. Has nowhere to go, just throws the ball away. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. 8:24 left to go in the 4th quarter. Question for us. What only hope does the Vikings have to maybe win this game? The Vikings need to stop here. If you can get a stop here on this 3rd down and
you need a big play to Adam Thielen.
And you pin Seattle back, punting the ball from deep in their end zone, could mean a big play for the special teams, and you're going to get the ball back in good field position either way. Wilson dropping back. He's looking right. He has nobody. Looking deep to the left side, and again throws the ball well over a receiver's head and out of bounds. Man. If that is classified as intended for a receiver and not a freaking intentional grounding, that's just an awful throw if that's how you're classifying it. So, but yeah, again, big stop here, 4th and 10, and now the punter is going to be at the very back of
Dixon
the end zone.
having to watch his back foot and where it is.
This could be the difference in the game right here if the Vikings can block this. But they don't bring the heat.
Not blocked, but not deep either, as it's going to be downed.
Going to be down at about the 42-yard line there. So a net gain of about 40 yards on that punt. Again, the Vikings going to take over here with good field possession.
Yeah, they're showing Bobby Wagner trying to get this defense fired up. We got 2 questions that come in, both regarding our quarterback situation here. A, do you think RG3 will be back next year? And Flacco or Jackson should be the starter. We got into that last week on our social. Go check out that episode. But we're going to get into that again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call out Fred's hashtag.
Hashtag Lamar.
As Cousins lines up under center, puts Thielen in motion from right to left, pushes him off to the left, hands the ball off to Thielen. Thielen gets that ball out to the left, gets some room, and gets almost to the 1st down marker. And we have a flag thrown that Thielen was calling for.
It may have been a blow to the head there. I don't know what the flag is, but Seattle's pointing against the Vikings. I thought that may have been a blow to the head with by the defender.
Holding on Stephon Diggs here.
Okay, so there's a hold. So that's going to negate the run by Thielen. It's going to bring up 1st down and 20. for the Vikings.
And, yeah, I would call that a hit to the head.
Yeah, that was a pretty strong blow to the head there. Let's see. You think RG3 will be back in Baltimore next year? I think he'll have other opportunities that will present a better chance at starting than he will here in Baltimore.
Cousins in the gun, trips out to the right, one out to the left, Cook's in the backfield with him. Under pressure, throws it over.
Oh, wow.
Wow, what a drop.
Big
was that
drop
Conklin?
there. Yeah, by the backup tight end, Conklin. Or Conklin.
I think it's Conklin. I think it's Tyler Conklin.
Conklin, okay. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 12.
Hits him in the hands.
Wow.
Right in the numbers.
Can't ask for a better throw by Kirk Cousins on that. I mean, he literally hit him right between the numbers, as you said. And Conklin with a huge drop there.
All right, Cousins. He's going to be from, again, their own 43-yard line. In the gun, calling for the snap, gets it off, rolls out to his right, looking downfield, throws it over the center to Conklin, who makes up for it by, depending on where they spot this ball, they may give him a first down here.
Conklin did a good job at keeping his feet going. Here's the problem. The defender had his arms locked up, and Conklin just spun his body around kind of like a top, but the ball stayed on the other side of the first down line, so Conklin was not able to move the ball forward, even though his back end went past the first down line.
So we're going to see 3rd and 1 here.
7 minutes to go in the 4th as the clock continues to tick. Big 3rd and 1
Cousins
here.
under center, has Cook in the backfield. QB keep again, and it's successful yet again.
Yeah, it looks like Cousins may have gotten about 2 yards on that play. Again, Cousins doing really well in these 3rd down and 1 short yardage gains.
It looks like we're going to have an injury.
6 minutes and 42 seconds left to go as the clock is now stopped, as Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, is down on the field, and the
Rookie
medical
out of
staff
Pittsburgh.
is out there looking at him. Can't really tell what's hurting him. Just kind of rolling around there on the field. But so here we are, Seattle, or the Vikings, with a chance again to either come within a field goal with a kick, or get down in the red zone and try to put a touchdown on the board.
Tim chiming in says, "Go Seahawks." Apparently, he was watching ESPN, forgot to tune in. He's
No big deal. Appreciate you tuning in as always, Tim.
All right. So as we move through this game, just under 7 minutes left. They're going to be facing 1st and 10.
Sam with another donation, man. I really appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, we
that goes a
appreciate that,
long
man.
way, man. Again, thank you. I mean, Sam, big fan of the show.
Yeah. He's
watches
always chiming
week.
in.
Always appreciate your feedback and always appreciate your opinions.
I think he did it just because he wanted to see Lamar Jackson again.
I think
because he is a Lamar fan.
He's a huge Lamar fan, so I think that's what it is. He likes that gif. Appreciate it, man. Really do. I appreciate you buying the shirt as well. So for you guys out there that are fans of the show and are looking for a little Birdland BS merch, you like the cool logo, as Scott's got one of our shirts on there. Sam went to our website and bought one of our shirts. We've got all kinds of things. So check out birdlandbs.com. At the top of the webpage, there's a little link for the gear, Birdland BS gear. Click that, and there's a ton of stuff to choose from. We got kids gear, ladies gear, men's gear, toddler gear, dog gear, cell phone cases. We got a little bit of everything.
Mugs.
We're not actually making any money on it. It's really just a branding thing for us. It's literally...
We have the prices set as low as we are allowed to have them.
Yeah, so we're not making any money on it. It's more just to get the logo out there, to get the name out there, and we appreciate all the support that you guys give us for sure.
Yeah, and as we continue to grow, we appreciate any feedback you guys give us. Hopefully, I feel like we've done a good job of working on the ahs and the ums. As
Sam says, yeah, you're right. Definitely was the gift. we assumed that, but we appreciate it either way.
So as they come back here, you're going to be looking to see them. It's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 30. As I'm stopped.
I was about to say,
man.
That was rough.
It's killing me right now.
I can imagine. If you
I
want
have to do a little more moonshine here.
1st down and 10, 6 minutes and 39 seconds left to go. The Vikings on the 30-yard line. Cousins under center. Hands it off to Delvin Cook. Delvin Cook goes left side of the line, gains about 1 yard on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 from the 29-yard line as they're attending to the right tackle's, looks like his ankle. So they may just be trying to wrap this thing up to kind of get him back there. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. One of his
a little extension there on
that.
that.
Yeah, one of his other offensive linemen kind of rolled up on his ankle there. So might be just getting an old tape job, and he'll be back out there on the field.
All right, he's in the gun. Diggs out to his left, Thielen out to his right, Cook in the backfield. Does a little shimmy shake off with the shoulders, trying to get the ball to Diggs. And Diggs incomplete, covered by Griffin.
Yeah, big play there by Griffin. Griffin has had a really good game tonight, as the entire defense really has, at shutting down this Vikings offense. Really, the only big play of the game was that big catch by Diggs a little while ago.
Yeah.
And that had nothing to do with the coverage. That was Diggs making a big play.
I appreciate that time. I'm trying to get better. Cousins gets the ball, drops back, throws it over to Thielen, and Thielen incomplete. Thielen grabbing at his knee as Griffin again on the stop.
It's going to be 4th down and 9, but the bigger concern is Thielen is still down.
Thielen is down. Griffin on the good coverage here. They're playing zone coverage.
Oh, yeah. So Thielen is kind of hit from behind as Griffin tries to dive in to break up the pass, and Griffin rolls on Thielen's leg and twists his knee up a little bit. Griffin coming over to show Thielen some love, and he didn't mean anything by it, but you can tell Thielen is, as he jogs off the field, is uncomfortable. We'll see how if he can get back out on the field. So Ryan, yeah, no, absolutely t-shirts needed, or at least hashtag yeah, no, absolutely.
We're gonna get a t-shirt that says hashtag yeah, absolutely.
I didn't talk to him about our conversation from Saturday, man.
We've talked about absolutely.
No, you and I have, and I told Ryan about that, but Ryan and I talked about it too. So he thinks it's pretty funny. So Vikings line up here for a 47-yard field goal as it's 4th down and 9.
Wagner jumps over the line and he's blocked.
But there's a flag. Did he jump too soon?
I don't know if he jumped too soon or if he used leverage. He might have used leverage here.
Yeah, that could be the case. And if that's it, it's a 5-yard penalty. But I don't know. Seattle's acting like this might be up against the Vikings.
Vikings are staying on the field. I wonder if they think that Wagner used leverage, because you cannot use your lineman as leverage to come over the line.
We'll see what the call is here. 2 fouls on the play. Both plays are against the Vikings, or both plays. Both penalties are against the Vikings. And honestly, he didn't really use leverage. If you watch this closely, he hopped over. Yes, he put his hands on the back of his lineman.
By rule, you cannot touch the lineman. You can't.
I don't know. I don't know if the rule says you can't jump off of a lineman, meaning using your feet. I don't know. That's a tough call there. But a big play. We've been talking about it pretty much all game, about the dominance of Bobby Wagner and the linebacker that he is.
Zimmer still not happy with the call. I just showed him asking the ref, where's the call on Wagner there? Time is saying, you kidding me, in reference to this block punt.
Divine says, do it, you guys. That would be a great shirt. All right, we'll make that happen. We'll have to do that just as a funny thing and throw it up on the website. Russell Wilson here has got 3 wide receivers, 1 running back. He lines up under center, hands it off to Carson. Carson goes right side, gains about 2 yards. As we get down to under 5.5 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. Again, Seattle only leading 6-0, so the Vikings have to make a big stop here. Wagner again, as they show the block kick, man, what a play by Wagner. It'll be interesting to see the after the game comments to see what.
I'd like to hear what the call is there and why. In my eyes, I look at that and I feel I understand what you're saying, that as you see him, he's not doing it, but he does make a last push with his hands. It doesn't mean anything.
It's not much, but it's enough. Wilson lines up here under center. single back formation, play action pass. He's got nowhere to go. He's scrambling to his left. He gets around the edge. He gets a first down and more. He's down to the 35, 30, 25, and slides down at the 21-yard line. A big run, which you thought may have been a 5-10-yard gain. But, man, once he got around that edge, there was nobody in sight, and Wilson just turned on the afterburners and kept on going.
He was going. He wasn't even thinking about it.
Gets all the way down to the 21-yard line. Huge, huge run by Russell Wilson. Wow. Big play. And that puts the Seattle Seahawks in field goal
40
range.
yards.
Huge, huge run. So if Seattle doesn't lose any yardage here, at the very least, they are in field goal range. A field goal would make it a 2-possession game. And I think that's what they're going to do.
4 minutes left.
Carson with the run up the middle. Looks like Seattle may just try to run as much clock as they can. Now, both teams do have all their timeouts. Minnesota does still have all 3 of their timeouts and the 2-minute warning to go. But again, if Seattle can get Janikowski out on the field and kick a field goal here, then it's a 9-point lead, and that's a two-possession game.
It's a close game. It's close no matter what you do here. With 3 minutes 30 seconds left here in the fourth. Looking for a stop on defense.
2nd down and 2. Wilson in a jumbo formation. Hands the ball off Carson. Carson goes right side. Can he get around the edge? He does. He gets about 11 yards and picks up the first down. Stays in bounds, which is key. The clock continues to run.
Hill was the first defender to get to him there, but he shook Hill off. Did a little shimmy shake. Hill got him with one hand, but couldn't finish the tackle.
Carson, man, he's had a really, really good game here, as Seattle has relied heavily on the run game in this football game. Yeah, Carson with a big run, gets the first down yardage, keeps his feet moving, and like I said, picks up 11 there for a first down. There is an injured Viking on the field. That's why they're not in the huddle, and I can't tell who that is.
Let's see here.
Is it 93? I can't tell for sure.
Yeah, it's 93. It's Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, it is Richardson.
So he's going to be the defensive tackle.
Looks like it may be a knee or ankle. I mean, he is up walking around, and he's walking off the field now.
Time, we appreciate you for tuning in. He's saying he's going to sleep. He's done with this game. See you guys next Monday.
Appreciate it, man. That. Hopefully we do see you next week, man. Appreciate you tuning in.
Next week is the last week before Christmas, the Christmas week. So
yeah, right.
It's gonna be fun.
Marlon says stream the Thursday night game so we can celebrate if the Chiefs win. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll see. I mean, it's Thursday nights don't work out the best for us family wise and that kind of thing, but we'll see what's going on. We'll keep you in the loop for sure. Marlon, a big fan of the show. We always see you tuning in every week, so appreciate the love, man.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody chiming in and tuning in this week.
So Russell Wilson lines up in the gun here from the 10-yard line. It's first down and goal. Hands it off to Carson. Carson through the middle, gains about 3 yards on the play. I'm not sure how Seattle ended up on the 10-yard line there. I must have missed something because Russell Wilson slid down at the 21-yard line.
He slid down at the 20, and then they've just been chipping away.
Yeah, I missed. I guess I missed 10 yards.
Well, Carson went up the middle for one, and I think. Right. I just brain fart. Yeah. Old age. It happens. And we got 63 of you guys watching. We got 19 thumbs up. Everybody keep hitting those thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. We appreciate it. Everybody kind of chiming in with what's going on.
So to my point, Seahawks with 38 rushes for 209 yards. They've only had, 30 yards passing so far in this game?
They're averaging 148 yards per game. First in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, this three-headed monster that they have in Seattle has done really, really well.
Running back by committee, man.
Yeah. Wilson in the gun. He's got Carson to his left. Hands off to Carson. Carson goes up the middle, down to about the 2-yard line. It's going to bring up third down and goal from the 2. again, Carson, I compared him earlier to Le'Veon Bell, and I don't mean it in a sense of production, but he's a very, very patient runner. He waits for his blockers to get out in front of him. He waits for holes to open. And if he doesn't have a hole, he just finds one of the big bodies, sits behind him, and lets him do the dirty work, man. And that's what you want out of a running back is you want a guy that either hits a hole and hits a hole hard, that's a north and south type of runner, or you want a runner that has the ability to be patient and take the holes that are given to him when they're there.
As they show Latavius Murray, who hasn't gotten that many carries in this game, who has that ability to go left, right, and find some of those holes, but can't really drive up the middle for the Vikings.
All right. Russell Wilson here on 3rd down and goal from the 2. He's going to line up in the gun. He's got Carson to his left. He's got 2 wide receivers. Hands it off to Carson. Carson goes left side, gets through the hole, and it's a touchdown for Chris Carson. And that's going to put a wrap on this game as Seattle goes up 12-0.
There you go. Right before that happened, Jan says, "Come on, Seattle, get the TD." They got it. As they will go for the extra point to make it a 13-0 game if they hit it with Janikowski. So now a 2-possession game with just over 3 minutes left. I think about 2:30 left.
Man, I made some. Thank God I have a very good fantasy football team in my other league because I made some bad decisions this week. I had Chris Carson sitting on my bench, but even bigger, I had Derrick Henry, who had 48.8 fantasy points this week, 232 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, sitting on my bench.
Did you already kick yourself, or do you want me to kick you?
God. I still won. I somehow still won the game. But that's probably 70 points just sitting on my bench alone. Unreal. Seattle's going to go for 2 here to try to put it up 14-0. I think this is a smart decision here. 13 really doesn't do you a whole lot of good. But
Timeout Seattle.
14 covers it. Yeah. I guess you want to make sure you get a good read of what kind of defense Minnesota's going to come out in. Again, I mean, it's not super important, but you do want to get these extra 2 points to make it a full 2-possession, 2-touchdown
Nick
lead.
says he needs 1 pass to cook.
Well, you know that Minnesota's going to be throwing the ball here once they get the ball back because they got to put up 2 scores. They got to put them up quick. So all you need is that 1 dump-off pass to cook out of the backfield, and there you go. 2 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Again, Seattle leading 12-0.
With as strong as your defense has been playing, do you really think the 2 points is necessary here? I understand that you're worried about
the one doesn't do you any good. So the 1, it's no different 13 versus 12. So I think at this point you go for 2 to make it a full 2-touchdown lead because the 1 point doesn't do you anything. And he's got Lockett for the 2-point conversion as
rolled out to his right there.
Yeah. So Wilson took the snap, play action, handoff, scrambles out to the right. Lockett running that way as well. Goes to the right corner of the end zone for an easy 2-point conversion there for Seattle as Seattle goes up 14-0.
14-0, 4th quarter, 2:53 left. Is it enough time for this Kirk Cousins and this Vikings offense? And it really comes back as they show again. Here they're showing the stop coverage. They're showing his hands on the defensive line.
Yeah.
I can't hear what they're saying, but I can only guess that the call is they feel it should have been leverage here.
Right. Now, I mean, like I said, he definitely used his hands to a degree. How much it benefited him, I don't know, but he definitely did use his hands. Nick says you can't be mad at not playing Henry. Laugh out loud. You're right. I mean, he's been so wildly inconsistent all year. I think he was projected to get 7 points. I definitely had better options when you're looking at it prior to the games, but man, that hurts to have 48.8 points sitting on your bench. That's a guaranteed win. You start him.
As the kick goes deep back out of the back of the end zone, and they will start it with the ball on their own 25-yard line.
2 minutes and 53 seconds left to go. Next Monday night, we'll be back here for sure. We got the high-flying Saints on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers. Panthers started off the year like gangbusters, but have really, really hit a rough stretch here over the last couple of weeks. Do not look like the same team, especially defensively. But that I don't know what's going on there in Carolina.
No, neither do I. As Cousins drops back under center.
There you
gets
go.
Some pressure.
Oh, he dropped it. There was your point.
Nick.
Was it Nick? Yeah. Oh, he dumped it off to Delvin Cook, but Delvin Cook dropped it. Oh, man, you better hope that's not the only one he gets the attempt on. So you got the Saints sitting at 11-2, the Rams sitting at 11-2.
Marlon, we're on a delay. I'm just going to say that, please.
Oh, Marlon, come on, man.
You know better. Come on. All right, as Cousins lines up in the gun, 2 wide out to the left, 1 out to the right, drops back, under pressure. As they force the fumble, picked up, running back. And he's got 1 man to beat, and he beats him.
Touchdown, Seattle.
Coleman off the fumble recovery.
Marlon with the sorcerer-like prediction there.
Yeah, right? Thanks, Marlon.
Way to blow it, Marlon. Nah, man. We are on a little bit of a delay.
From what the game actually is.
Yeah, so... Appreciate you guys not, if you are listening to the game somewhere else and you're a little ahead of us, not chiming in and kind of ruin it for everybody else. But, Marlon, we're just giving you crap.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. This game's pretty much in the pocket anyway. I didn't really care. I just had to give it a hard time.
So that puts Seattle up 20-0 now, and that's...
They'll tackle the extra point here.
Yeah.
You might as well give Janikowski the extra 1.
And there it is. 21-0 Seattle. If you've got Seattle's defense in fantasy, speaking of fantasy, you're sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
If they can keep this shutout for the remaining 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go.
Yeah, this is a big. I mean, obviously, big game for this defense. Martin with the pressure, with the strip sack. Then Coleman picking it up as the ball rolled forward to about the 30-yard line, about a 10, 12-yard roll there from where he actually stripped it from him. And then Coleman just takes it to the house there at the end.
Jan says, so nice. Yeah, you got it. You asked for it. You said, come on, Seattle, get the TD. Well, they did. They got back-to-back ones.
Actually, I'm not sitting pretty in fantasy because I need Lockett to get me, 2 points. And they're not going to throw the ball.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're not going to throw the ball.
So, oh well. I tried. It was fun. All right. As they line up for a kick here, I mean...
Janikowski kicks the ball off.
I'm throwing it deep if I'm Cousins here. So, Sherrill's going to field it from about his own 9. He's going to move laterally out to the left. Gets out to the 20, 21, maybe 27-yard line, it looks like there. Yeah, so it's going to be 1st and 10 from about the 27-yard line. If I'm Cousins, I'm just telling Thielen and Diggs, get downfield.
Diggs, not Thielen. Thielen, stay on the sideline.
That's true. We don't need that for fantasy.
We don't want Thielen.
How are we doing in that? Can you check in on that?
Yeah, I will check in on that.
2:29 left in the 4th quarter of this game. Seattle up 21-0.
You sound like a cartoon character. Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
We're leading by 1 point.
All right, Thielen needs to stay on the side.
112 to 111, if you can see that. He probably can't. 112 to 111. Thielen needs to stay hurt on the sideline.
Nick says he'd run it. And we have a defender down for Seattle.
Want to say thanks again for all of you guys tuning in and hitting that thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button. Big shout out to Sam L. Jackson, better known as Steve, for the donations, and the other one from
it was Beast Mode or something.
Yeah,
I knew it was a Seattle reference.
Yeah, appreciate the donations. That stuff goes a long way. Again, it's just all that money that we get from you guys. It goes right back into the podcast. You'll see if you continue to watch us. You're going to watch this thing grow. The green screen's the next big step. Lighting's the next thing. I guess then we can start working on not sucking at this whole commentary thing, cutting down the ums and the ahs.
We're working on it. It's getting better.
We're getting
I was trying to look. It was 35 down for Seattle. But this depth chart, I am not seeing.
Thielen's on the field. No. Do not throw his way. 21-0 Seattle with 2:29 left to go. The Vikings have no wins this season against teams currently with a winning record. If that doesn't speak volumes of how this team plays against some of the better competition, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, you're good against the teams that don't matter as much, and you can't step up against the teams that do.
Right.
His Cousins going to be back in the gun, have Cook out to his left, 2 wide out to the right, 1 out to the left. Steps back, dumps it off to Thielen.
No!
Thielen gets it. First down and more. 50-yard line, 30 or 45, 40, 35-yard line. And
where's the flag? Where's the flag?
I think that just put a nail in the coffin for us for fantasy there.
With 2 minutes to go in the game.
So close there.
F you, fantasy gods. Golly.
All right, his Cousins lines up in the gun. 2 minutes left, trying to get the last snap off. He gets snap off for the 2-minute warning. Steps back, looking to the sideline, gets it, tries to throw it to Rudolph, and it's off of Rudolph's hands. Hit him right in the hands.
Couldn't that have been Thielen?
Yeah, right.
On the last play. Yeah, we've seen quite a few drops in this game, and I mean ones that have literally hit receivers right in their hands. No defenders around the play.
So Ryan Floss chimes in and says the NFL just wants Russell Wilson in the playoffs. The refs gave him this game. I completely disagree. If this were a runaway game in the first quarter, the second quarter, maybe even the third quarter, but all the points have been scored. The heavy touchdowns have been scored in the fourth quarter of this. It is just wearing down the Vikings defense, and then the defensive touchdown where the defense is wearing down the offense.
I think the biggest questionable call of the game was obviously the field goal block. And yes, that could have gone the other way. But even if you take that out of the mix right now, Seattle still wins this football game. So I don't agree with that. I'm not personally, I'm not arguing your point or anything like that. We're all entitled to our opinions. I'm not a big conspiracy theory kind of guy. I've never been that way.
I am, but
I know you are. I'm not. And I don't think there's any kind of collusion that goes on about keeping teams in or out of the playoffs. At the end of the day, you control your own destiny. Yes, the refs have a part in it. And, there are calls that go the opposite way for all teams. And it happens throughout the entire year.
You may not get something one game, but you can have the ball fall the other way.
Right.
So to speak, in another game. So
Seattle already had a decent stranglehold on that 5th seed in the playoffs anyway for the wild card. You got a couple of teams sitting back at 6 and 7 that really aren't playing very good football right now. You do have the Vikings holding on to the 6th seed right now, which, I mean, if you watch in this game, they're not playing very good football right now. So I think Seattle holding their own as a team, loading up and getting ready and getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, the right time, and it comes down to right time, right players, and the right play calls as they show primetime home records, best since 2002. That's right. The Ravens are 17-5, the Patriots 27-8, and the Pittsburgh Steelers 25-18. Seahawks 21-6
since 2002.
They have the best home record with this win.
Yep. Again, what do we got? 1:56 left to go here in the fourth.
Cousins drops back in the gun, looking deep to his left, has Thielen
insult to
for
injury.
a first down and more, stepping out of bounds. 1:51 left on the clock.
Way to tease us.
Tease us with a win, and then we don't get it.
Oh, man.
All right. You just got to keep taking these shots. I don't know how much you're going to be able to come back and get another. You're going to have to still hit the onside kick, get a touchdown, then hit another onside kick and get another touchdown. So I don't know that this is going to happen. You're just doing this to save face at this point. Cousins in the gun, Cook to his left, 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left, drops back, fakes a screen pass, looking out over the center. Wow! Looking in the end zone to Diggs, and that was tipped. Who was that tipped by?
37. I think that was the rookie.
Flowers.
Yeah,
that's Trey Flowers.
Again, Flowers kind of been on digs all game. The ball thrown, not really. I mean, I'm not going to say it was thrown behind him. It was thrown a little inside and just enough for Flowers to outstretch and get his hands on the ball and break it up and prevent the touchdown there.
Huge play on defense. 1:45 left. Cousins under center from his own 23-yard line.
And there
dumps
you
it off to
go.
Cook. Cook out, first down and more. Gets down to about the 6, maybe 7-yard line. It looks like they're going to spot it at the 6. So you're going to see first and goal.
There you go, Nick. You got your boy. You got your point. He got not only the reception, but he got about a 15-yard gain, 14-yard gain on that play. So
problem is he stayed in bounds as the clock continues to run. We get down to 1:20. Cousins trying to get the ball off. Going for the ball, gets it off. Looking in the end zone. Pressure. Scrambles out to the left. And this is going to be... They're going to pass it off, but this is going to be a flag. It's
got to be. I mean, it's a touchdown right now to Cooks, but it looked like everything that you could see on TV that Kirk Cousins was past the line of scrimmage, but there is no flag thrown on the play on this.
Well, his arm is behind.
Yeah, well, all he's going to do is have his foot behind the line of scrimmage, a foot behind the line of scrimmage, and I think he did a really good job there keeping it. First glance, it did look like he was across the line, but he had just enough behind the line, finds Dalvin Cook over the middle. So there you go. You not only got your extra point, but you got a few extra points on top. So congrats on the big fantasy win for you there, Nick. Ryan says, no, by no way the Vikes lost this game, but I just think the calls went the Seahawks' way. Love the show. No, I agree with that. I do think some of the calls went the Seahawks' way. And that happens, from game to game. I don't think there's a collusion that the NFL wants the Seahawks to be in the playoffs. I do agree that the breaks went the Seahawks' way in this game, and that plays a part in why Seattle's winning this game. It does play a part.
100% agree there.
Remaining schedule.
Dolphins, the Vikings go against the Dolphins, then the Lions, and then the Bears in Week 17. The Bears have been looking hot.
Yeah, I mean they're one of the best defensive teams in football right now. Mitch Trubisky comes back from the injury, doesn't play very good against the Rams, but you know what? He does enough to win the game as the Bears really shut down a potent Rams offense. Goff with 4 interceptions, shut down one of the best, I think the best player in the NFL right now, 1A and 1B with Mahomes in Todd Gurley, as Gurley was held to basically nothing.
And that play went to review from upstairs. They did, it looks like I'm assuming they confirmed the call.
And they did confirm it.
And the extra point is good. 21-7 with 1:10 left.
Hopefully nobody lost their fantasy games by giving up that touchdown there and losing some points for Seattle's defense, because Seattle's defense, man, they've played a great game.
I tell you what, Seattle, their next 3 matchups, their toughest one is they have the Cardinals as Week 17, I believe. Then in Week 16 or week 17 is the Cardinals, Week 16 is the Chiefs, Week 15 is the 49ers.
Right.
So I'm kind of going working back there. But 3-10 team, 10-3 team, 3-10 team.
Yeah.
So you know who they've got to play well against. Just saying.
Yeah.
If you can't play well against 3-10 teams,
49ers,
you don't deserve it.
49ers did play really well against Seattle a few weeks ago. But I think, again, this is a different Seattle-looking team that we saw tonight. So if they can play this kind of style of football, I think they'll do okay.
Seattle with their hands package on the field.
As Minnesota's going to try to go for the onside kick. Ball bounces, takes a deep bounce as the tight end Vanett hops all over that. And that'll put a wrap on the game with about 1:09 left to go. Minnesota has no timeouts.
Few kneels and this game's over.
2 kneels and the game's over. So that's going to be a wrap. Seattle's going to win this game 21-7. Further themselves in closer to locking up that 5th seed as a wild card and locking up a playoff spot for the year.
And 53 of you guys watching out there, we appreciate everybody tuning in. It actually jumped up to 61 real quick.
Appreciate it.
As Wilson sets up victory formation for the kneel here.
And there's the kneel. So before you guys head out for the night, do us a favor. If you like the stream, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. If you have any comments for us or things that you'd like to see maybe differently for next week's show or future shows, leave that in the comments down below or leave it in the chat window over here. And we'll be sure to try to do everything that we can to make this the best product that we possibly can for you guys.
And if you don't know, the chat kind of locks up after once in a while. You can always reach out to myself or Fred. Our Twitter accounts are up above, at FredBLBS, at ScottBLBS. You can always reach out to us there. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We're everywhere. Check out our website, www.birdlandbs.com. Let's get into a little bit of recap from this game. Obviously, as we said, huge defensive game here for both of these teams. I think the big play for me, the shift, is that block field goal. Yeah, and put it out of reach.
If you're singling out one play, I think that one play is probably the game turning or the game saving play for Seattle there. But I think the bigger picture here was the red zone defense, really on both sides of the ball. Both teams did a really, really good job, especially the Vikings for 3 quarters of play there, shutting down Seattle, who Seattle had multiple opportunities earlier on in this game in the red zone and weren't able to execute. Vikings with some big stops and some turnovers. But eventually that did catch up to them later in this game. And Seattle did enough. I'm not going to say like Seattle won this game head and heels because they were that much better of a team. No. Seattle just did enough to win this game. And again, what you're seeing in the run game is what this team's identity needs to be moving forward. I think this running back by committee, they've got 3 running backs that they can keep healthy and they can keep fresh because neither one of them have to carry the bulk of the load. Carson obviously carried the majority of the carries tonight, and that's probably what you'll see on the majority of nights. But if they can lead with the run and allow Russell Wilson to kind of pick you apart with 25 to 30 passes a game, that's where you're going to see this offense succeed the most, I think, moving forward as they get ready for the playoffs.
Agreed. Brent and John, they're chiming in saying they'll talk to us next week or see us tomorrow. Thank you guys for chiming in.
Appreciate you guys tuning in for sure.
You brought that up with Carson. Carson, 22 carries, 90 yards, averaging 4.1. Russell Wilson with 7 carries on some of those scrambles, 61 yards for him, especially off that big run, that 40-yarder. And then Penny, 8 carries for 44 yards. Davis also had 3 carries for 22 yards. So just a running back by committee, 214 total yards for this team in this game. Yep. Passing-wise, Russell Wilson, 10 for 20 for 72 yards. Did take 2 sacks for a loss of 12. So there's that defense coming back. Lockett, really the sole receiver in this game that played the biggest difference. 5 receptions for 42 yards. Longest was 14. He had the longest of the game.
Yeah. I think what Russell Wilson did more so in this game was extend plays with his feet. Obviously had a couple of big runs, a couple of big third down conversions with his feet. I don't know what his yardage rushing stats were. Do you have those stats there?
For who?
For Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, he was 7 carries for 61 yards. Russell.
Yeah, I mean 61 yards out of your quarterback. We're starting to see the difference with that in Baltimore. We went from a pocket passing Joe Flacco who never gets any kind of rushing yards ever because he's not mobile. He's a statue. Obviously, with this RPO offense that we're running now with Lamar Jackson, we're seeing the benefits of having a quarterback that can run for 70 to 80 yards in a game, extend drives, control the clock, and when you have a defense like Seattle's defense, like the Ravens' defense, that can really perform well when they're fresh, this is what you see. You see low-scoring games and Seattle was able to shut this team out for 3 3/4 of a game.
They were. That was what we said was the go-to from the beginning. Is we said that they needed to shut them down. They needed to have a big game, and we saw it. That's exactly what we anticipated. It's exactly what we got. The one thing that we were not expecting was the true inability of both these teams. And I don't want to say, I'm not even going to say inability because we did see some scores late, but the inability of these offenses to capitalize in certain situations, big drops on the part of the Vikings. Cousins going 20 for 33 for 208 yards. When you look at that for face value, it's not a bad game out of your quarterback.
Yeah, but a big portion of that came on one big play of 50 yards or 48 yards, whatever it was, to Diggs. The big thing, I think, with Cousins was he wasn't able to get comfortable at all in this game. You had Seattle's defense, consistently bringing pressure the entire game, keeping Kirk Cousins off balance. And honestly, Seattle did a really, really good job up until that last drive of containing the two weapons in Thielen and Diggs.
Well, and they also, because they were able to contain them, they were also able to stay up the line and contain Dalvin Cook, who only ran 13 carries for 55 yards, only 4.2. Outside of that, Cousins scrambled 3 times for 5 yards, and Murray, who's the guy that I talked about, he was not impactful in this game because he's too much of a lateral running back. He has 3 carries, 4 yards.
Yeah.
So they just could not get that running game going. They just wasn't there. Forced fumble by Seattle didn't help the situation for the Vikings. Cousins looking to pass there as he rears his arm back, gets hit, and that's it. That's the book.
So Seattle again wins this game 21-7, moving to 8-5 on the year. Again, putting more of a stranglehold on the 5th seed, the first wild card seed in the NFC. The Vikings dropped to 6-1 on the year. Will still hold that 6th seed in the playoffs currently, but they do have a few teams on their heels at 6-7 coming strong. And if the Vikings can't figure it out, these last couple of games of the year will find themselves at home watching the playoffs.
That's where I'm going to be.
So we appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in, as always. Again, before you guys leave, if you could do us a huge favor, hit that thumbs up, drop a comment, tell us how you liked the show, what you liked, what you didn't like about it. We'll make sure we make some adjustments, and we'll make some improvements moving forward. We're Birdland BS. Check us out everywhere on YouTube. Obviously, hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're on Twitter at Birdland BS, Facebook, search Birdland BS. We have our podcast, which talks about Baltimore sports, coming up tomorrow night at 8:45. We will live stream that here, Facebook, and Twitter. Check us out on our website, birdlandbs.com. We talked about the gear that we have, the hat, the shirt, all kinds of other things that we have. If you're interested in getting any kind of gear, again, we appreciate all the support. We will see you back here next week, next Monday night.
Saints-Panthers.
For the Saints and Panthers. Should be a really good game. For Birdland BS, I'm Fred.
I'm Scott.
See you guys.